TV, mag-aral ng maigi to get the lessons easily. It's tangkop, tangkop, tangkop time. We learn all things, it's very fine, masaya. Tutok na. It's tangkop, tangkop, tangkop time. We learn all things, it's very fine, masaya. Tutok na. Let's come and learn together, supporting one another. We love, we care, we share. It's tangkop, tangkop, tangkop time. We learn all things, it's very fine, masaya. Tutok na. It's tangkop, tangkop, tangkop time. We learn all things, it's very fine, masaya. Tutok na. It's tangkop, tangkop, tangkop time. We learn all things, it's very fine, masaya. Tutok na. It's tangkop, tangkop, tangkop time. We learn all things, it's very fine, masaya. Tutok na. It's tangkop, tangkop, tangkop time. We learn all things, it's very fine, masaya. Tutok na. Tangkop, tangkop time.
The Department of Education, Division of Tangub City, in partnership with the local government unit of Tangub, presents Ang Tangkub, Transforming Advancement in the New Normal, guiding K-12 learners under broadcast media and instructional program crafted in response to the need of making education possible and accessible to students at the comfort of their homes. It covers the most essential competencies, thematically layered in drama plays which were originally written, directed, and performed by teachers to see to it that education is securely provided. This is Ang Tangkub.
Tayo na. Buksan ang mga radyo, lina at matuto sa mga aral sa mundo. Tayo na. Tumutok na sa TV, mag-aral ng maigi to get the lessons easily. It's tangkop, tangkop, tangkop time. We learn all things, it's very fine, masaya. Tutok na. It's tangkop, tangkop, tangkop time. We learn all things, it's very fine, masaya. Tutok na. Let's come and learn together, supporting one another. We love, We care, we share. It's tangkop time. We learn all things, it's very fun. Masaya, tutok na. It's tangkop time. We learn all things, it's very fine. Masaya, tutok na. It's tangkop time. We learn all things, it's very fine. Masaya, tutok na. It's tangkop time. We learn all things, it's very fine. Masaya, tutok na. It's tangkop time. We learn all things, it's very fine. Masaya.
Good afternoon, senior high school TV learners. Welcome to
Astral Academy Cyber School.
I am teacher Chris from Sumirap National High School.
I am teacher Jade from Tango City National High School.
And I am teacher James Mark P. Saporno of Sumirap National High School. And we are
Your
teacher
teachers
facilitators for today. Today, learners, we will be discussing your specialized subjects in Housekeeping NC2 and Programming NC3. That will happen right after the short break. This is Astral Academy Cyber School.
And we're back, still here in
Astral Academy Cyber School.
Alright, now we will start with our first specialized subject in Housekeeping NC2 and our learning competency for today.
Care for the guest property, perform packing and unpacking of the guest luggage.
Alright, so again, as we've discussed a week before, that providing valet services to guests in a hotel or a resort includes a lot of activities. And today we will be learning one of that. And that is to perform the packing and unpacking of guest luggage. So karong hapuna atong makatunan unsaon nato pagpack, meaning to say paghipos.
Yes.
O pag-unpack, meaning to say sa mga gamit ni guest nga nag-check-in sa atong hotel.
Bungkag.
No, not
Build.
Alright. So, in dealing with guest luggage, a valet or butler must treat it with care and, of course, respect. Kaya dili man na ato ang gamit sa ato man ng mga guests. So, we need to take care of it at most priority. Most importantly, we need to avoid any damages and especially losses. That is why one of the requirement in order for us to become a valet attendant is to be honest. Diba? Gidiscuss mo na nato last, sir, no?
So we are kanang pwede dito makanang makaabutan ng ma-valley service no kay honest magpunta.
Yes.
Yeah, so
Loyal.
Honest and loyal.
honest and loyal. Wow, sana all. Alright, so overseeing the activities will ensure that nothing is forgotten or misplaced during the transportation of the guest luggage from the lobby to their official guest room. So it is also crucial to pack or unpack and store and prepare the guest luggage. So necessary action is to be taken to avoid problems and shortcomings. Checking and inspecting the condition of the luggage first would be necessary steps in managing them. And for us to have that detailed information on how to deal with the guest luggage,
Okay?
sir, please read.
So ako.
Yes.
Yes.
Ikaw.
The first thing to deal with guest luggages, it includes unpacking of luggage for our clients and storing of items either in a room or in another place within the premises, including the organization of item for safety deposit.
All right. So again, when we deal with guest luggage class, first, usag yun, if mo check in si guest, usahay, ay, this is not true to all ha. Because some arriving guests in a hotel like their luggage to be unpacked by the attendant, but some also doesn't like their luggage to be unpacked.
So
So
it really depends on the
Yes.
our clients.
Ay, kaya
It
ako, wala
will
akong
depend
ka-experience,
on
kaya
the
inabot na ako sa hotel,
client.
kaya ako lagi mag-unpack.
okay, depende again
Wala man ko gitagbo sa kuan nga. Sir, ako
sa
i-unpack,
butler.
sir. Oh,
Maybe
wala.
because you are checking in with a group. Kasagaran man gud ani sa mga ingon ani kay sa mga VIP,
duhang gud ni.
VVIP,
Na VIP nakakasa.
and the likes.
Wala pa po yung kusukan. So,
Alright.
mo akong ka-experience sana. Okay.
Alright, so again,
Ayan, sir.
nakabutang sa first dira nga it doesn't only include nga mag-unpack lang ta sa gamit, but then the organization of the items as well. So kung asa siya ibutang, o in case manggay nga na valuable si guest such as lot of cash or jewelries or any items that are of high value, pwede na siya ipa-deposit sa safety deposit locker.
Okay.
Kay para ma-avoid nga mawala siya. Another thing is,
Yes.
The second one is a storage of guest luggage and then security of the guest property.
alright, so after nimo mag-unpack, it is also your responsibility to store the luggage. Dili man na siya nimo ibilin lang sa iyang room na ay specific nga butanganan ang mga luggages nga wala na isulod para mahanay nato ang iyahang guest room. Another thing, security of guest property. So again, kaganyan na-discuss na nga dapat, if ever man gani nga na ay valuable si guest, i-deposit to siya sa safety deposit locker.
Yes.
And then,
Next is liaison with porters.
and then,
And the last one, but not the least, but repairs of luggage and or replacement of same essentials.
alright, so liaison with porters, meaning to say, the guest should know who is the valet attendant that is carrying his luggage from the lobby to his or her room. And then, if ever nga namanggay something guba or damage that are repairable, pwede nimo siya i-repair. But then again, you need to ask for the permission of the guest. Dili pwede nga ikaw rin magbuot-buot og ayo sa minor damages sa usa ka luggage. Kinahanglan mananghid ka sa tag-iya sa luggage. And then, dealing with guest clothes also include,
First, our service should include unpacking and storing in rooms.
alright, so pag-unpack niya, usually class, kung magpa-unpack si guest, nana siya yung mga specifications sa iyahang mga gamit. Like for example, if maingon siya, all the dress should be hang in this cabinet and all the t-shirts and polo shirts will be put or folded in this side, then diri pang butang ang mga kuan, magdepende na ni guest kung asa niya ipabutang. So again, when unpacking, mangutana ka ni guest unsaon niya how the guest would like his or her things to be unpacked. And then arranging for cleaning or dry cleaning and repairs. So again, kani we need to be very particular with this. If ever manggani nga si guest na ay dalang labhunon, kay usually manggod travelers man na si travelers man na ang ato ang mga arriving guest. So na ay not all the time po pero usahay na ay mga dalang nga labhunon na si guest nga gusto niya pa ipalaundry.
Yes.
So again, sa paglaundry po kay sa torbang nahibawan ang paglaundry lang is paglaba. But then again, in a hotel, there are 3 types of laundry services. We have the hand wash, for delicate items. We also have the regular wash or for the pwede lang i-washing machine. And then lastly, for the dry cleaning. Katong mga sanina or gamit ni guest nga dili pwede mabasa kay madaot. Especially the sequence cloth, gown, cocktails, and even shoes.
Okay.
Okay. And also, dealing with guest clothes also include with pressing of items. O saan man ang pressing of items, class?
Turn on or turn off?
Oh, that's a very good joke. All right, because when I asked my learners before during our when we still had our face-to-face classes
yes,
before, when I asked our learners, okay, what do you mean by pressing of especially cloth items? Ang ilag yung pasabot kay turn on or turn off. But then again, dili na siya mao klasa. When we say pressing of items, this means ironing them using
Iron.
the steam presser. Alright, the steam presser. Or even an iron, a flat iron. But then again, kailahi man gud na ang ironing. When we say ironing of clothes, it is some clothes should be ironed using an iron through sliding the iron. But then again, napoy mga clothes nga na, especially the beaded ones, dili siya pwede i-iron nga side by side. So, i-press lang siya. Meaning to say, i-press ni mo si flat iron and then up. Then press again to the other side and then
okay.
up. Ingon
Sulay
ana
na ka
siya.
na, Teacher Jay, kanang first and up.
Gusto ko musulayan na. Pero di
Later
nakasulay.
on in our discussion, we will be doing that one in our demonstration.
okay, yes,
But not today.
Gusto ko
Okay.
mo try, sir.
Alright. So when unpacking guest luggage, the valet or butler must explain that he or she needs to do the following. Kay, di ba, mangutan, ay mananghid man ta ni guest if okay ra ba niya nga i-unpack
Yes.
or ipack yung gamit. Then, kinahanglan po nato, kumusugot naman gay siya, atuan yung ipahibalo ni guest. This is very necessary. First,
Okay, first, ask for keys from the guest to unlock their luggage, and then you have to make sure to check first their luggage. And then, if there's any indication of tampering or any damages, you have to inform the guest immediately.
okay, para aware si guest. O say man good kay naay mga butang nga dili bitaw aware si guest nga naday na scratch, especially ha kana kasagaran man gud sa mga guest nga mag-check-in ug ani kay mga mahalon. And then if luxurious ilang luggage then na scratch dadto, at least imo siyang ipahibalo nga ma'am narabay scratch diri. Kay basig ikaw mapasangin lang.
Yes.
Okay. So before nimo siya i-check-in, before nimo i-bring ang luggage sa client, make sure nga
Gi-check yun mo siya.
Okay.
Particularly for damages or scratches. Next.
Okay, next, outside of luggage must be inspected if clean of any marks.
That's
So,
right,
mga
that is the
ganihang
same.
ingon, yes.
Next.
Third, sir.
Yes, so for the third is you need to put the luggage on a proper surface to avoid damage. Luggage rack is the appropriate item to use.
So again, kung mag-unpack ta or mag-deal na ta sa guest luggage, kinahanglan nato siya ibutang og sakto nga butanganan. Usually manggod sa ato especially if kita-kita lang sa salugra nato siya ibutang. In hotels, we are providing the guest or the luggage rack katong mura siya lingkuranan nga i-flip lang. Pero di siya lingkuranan.
Ako ang gi-imagine.
Imagine mo, naka-luggage rack sa balay di ay.
Na ako'y katong shurak.
Of course, that is different ha. Pero at
my
least,
God.
naa siya kaugalingon yung butanganan.
Butanganan.
Oh, yes.
Speaking of
Specifically,
rack, no, di ba rack?
for luggage use
But
only.
not all hotels available siyang luggage rack, sir.
Naa. Jud na siya sa tanan. Usually, pero
tanan.
dili siya provided sa tanang room. Kung walay luggage rack ang room, pwede ikaw may mo ask sa front desk nga manghulam og luggage rack.
Okay.
Next.
Okay, the fourth one is ask first for guest instructions before removing all the items in the luggage. So next is you need to separate items that are clean. Dirty items are sent for laundering.
Alright. So, sabas sa giingon ng kaganihan na ang mga guests, especially the travelers one,
Travelers.
nga nanas lay dalang limpyo o sinuutan ng sanina. So, at least, before ni mo sila tangtangon sa iyahang luggage, mananghid ka, asa ni siya ibutang. Then, unsa imong gusto ani ma'am, gusto ba ka ipalaundry ni siya? Dili po di mo siya ipalaundry diri. So, mangutana kag ipalaundry ba niya or i-keep lang siya sa iyahang cellophane. Usually,
yes.
magud naka balot na siya og plastic.
Okay.
And then, next,
And then the fifth one, properly placed clothing and items neatly folded and stocked accordingly.
Alright. So, mo ni siya ang guide na dayon nimo kung asa kasagaran ipangbutang ang mga gamit. But then again, guide rin nimo siya. Magdepende
It's
gihapon
up
ang
to the
tanan kung
guest,
unsay gusto ni
kung ahay ang
guest.
ipamuta.
So, usually, kung mag-unpack na ka sa mga items ni guest, sa drawers, ipangbutang ang mga sanina nga jumpers, casual shorts, t-shirts, underwear, and the like. And then sa wardrobe cabinet, meaning to say katong naihangiranan.
Hangiranan, yes.
Clothes like shirts, trousers, coats, suits, more on the casual or the formal outfit na. And then for the shoes, usually kasagaran sa shoe rack naa sa likod sa portahan or door sa guest room. And then sa bathroom or powder or makeup room, dito ni may pambutang ang iya mga toiletries and towels if na siya dala nga personal.
Pero kinitanan, it only depends if the guest will allow our maybe services no nga
Nga magpa-unpack.
Yes.
Again, dili ka mo unpack og diretso sa guest luggage. It should be
Guest request.
the guest request.
Okay.
Dili ka pwede magpataka-taka lang.
Okay, so next, please kog scroll direct, no?
Yes, direct.
Not
No.
direct, yes.
And actually, that's the end of our koan. At
So
least kabalo na sila sa idea unsaon.
Yes,
Pagpack
yes.
og unpack.
Okay, so let's proceed to the activity. Yes, yes, sir. James.
All right, so for your activity this week in housekeeping, the direction there is just to list the 5 things that a valet or butler must do when unpacking a guest luggage.
Okay.
So pagkasayon ra sa ato activity no.
Yes.
Okay kayo.
Okay kayo.
So, I know our learners can answer that one very easily.
Very good.
Okay.
So stay tuned
Because we will be right back after a short break. This is Astral Academy Cyber School.
And welcome back. This is
Astral Academy Cyber School.
All right, now we are done with our first specialized subject, which is housekeeping NC2. Now we will move to our next specialized one, which is the Java programming NC3.
yes,
Sir Chris.
correct. So Teacher James, it is a very wonderful, sa atong housekeeping ito, nindot kaya atong topic, no?
Yes.
And I'm sure, I can guarantee that our learners have learned something new today on their housekeeping.
I hope so.
I'm sure.
Yes.
No, nindot sa kayo, no?
Me
Okay, pagguan ba, pag-unpack og, ipack.
It's a-
All right.
Amazing kayo. Okay, so now, learners, no, let's move to our second subject, which is the Java Programming NC3. So, Teacher James, can you please read the learning competency for today's topic in Java Programming NC3?
All right, so learners, our learning competency for today's topic in Java Programming NC3 is select and organize information correctly.
Okay, so learners, no? Let me ask you this question. Why do we need to select and organize information correctly?
Yes, learners, actually, Teacher Jade, in the world of computer programming, you should know how to select the information correctly that is suitable for a specific task. Because
Yes.
as a computer programmer, we are teachers, we are tend to solve problems
Yes.
or maybe create innovations.
Yes.
That's true.
So just like, for example, if you are trying to log in on your Facebook account, so you need to enter your credentials with your, which are your username, it could be an email address or your mobile phone.
Yes.
And the other information that you need is to enter your password. So selecting the information correctly is a very crucial part of maybe creating or designing a new system, because this might affect the flow of a certain website or a certain app. But learners, informations that you need to select correctly are not limited to account information. It also includes applications or even websites nga imong magamit siya. Okay?
Yes.
Ana din na, sir, no? But why do we need to organize information correctly, Judy I?
Okay, so in organizing the information, no, it, makes it easier for each employee or even clients to access, no, relevant information and to possess a snapshot of all ongoing projects. So for example, no, sa ko ang na experience not only me, no, but all of us teachers, atong mga learners, no, na kana natay fill upan nga form.
Yes.
Di ba? So natay information ana nga ato ang ibutang. So we have to be very careful in putting our information. Nga dapat nga kana siya is tinuod na siya.
Yes,
Di ba?
correct.
So
And true.
so same with the programming, inana sad ang batong sa mga programmer. Okay, so therefore, no, inter-teams communication is more straightforward. And then we have to consider also the products in a certain grocery are all information. So kanang mga duta og kanang mga mall, no?
Yes.
So if nakabantay mo sa mga products, no, they are placed or organized in a designated section, just like the meat section, no, and then the seafood section, the health and beauty department, and many more. So diha pandaan iniglaag na to, di ba? For example, matutag mall, mang grocery ta. So ang purpose nga nung ato ang i-organize pod ang ato ang mga information, or for example sa mall kanang meat section, for example, ha, may ta mo palita og karne karon, asa man ta dapit mo adto mo patog karne, isun man po adto sa health and beauty department, no?
Exactly.
So we have to find asa dapit ang meat section.
Yes.
Para mas kay ang naka-disadvantage manggod or ang nakapait, once nga dili ma-organize manggod ang mga butang, same with kani, iusa si meat section, si ang karne, ang mga seafood, ang mga isda, and then giusa tanan nagsagol ra sa kalag. Oh, so so meaning ikaw as customer mabaw kag pangita asa imuhang kwaon.
Yes, that's
Exactly.
And then makalangan na.
Yes, and very inconvenient as well.
Not only in sa mall, no, but also sa ato apod nga kuan nga, di ba, ato gyud yung ipang-organize ang ato ang mga butang nga gustong for example natay lakwon or natay adtuon, ato yung i-organize sa dalon. Yes. That's it.
I'm sure kanang si Sir James kay especially yung hilig siya mo pa itong beauty products.
Yes.
I'm sure nag-organize man dito sa
Yes,
I
organize
hope
ka na siya.
so.
Yeah.
sa lipstick,
Yeah.
ba, no?
Even ka na sa banyo, di ba? Imo bigyan ng ilain ang para sa nawong, no? Para sa buhok kanang mga and everything, di ba? Kay
Yes.
imo nang iusatan ng butang, mababag kay ato ilalom. Asa naman to kuan na, di ba?
Yes.
Relate, no? Relate kita, no?
Exactly. Actually, we can all relate to organizing things because especially if natin kagalingon na itong bag, di ba i-organize mo na to og unsa na to diri ako mga ballpen, diri ako
Yes.
mga notebook
Kasi ako, dani ako ang tag 500, dani ako tag 1,000. Ana ako ang program sa akong
sa wallet.
Yes, akong wallet.
Sana all dagag 1,000
So,
og 500.
Magpila ka kabuk yung wallet sa 1,000.
Okay, so let's proceed, Sir Chris.
Okay, so learners, just kidding aside, no,
Yes.
Sir Jade, no. So learners, take note that at the end of the lesson or this session, you're expected to select information correctly and organize this information that you gathered correctly.
Yes.
So in order to accomplish these things, you need to learn on how to use or create an algorithm.
Yes.
Okay, so Teacher James, I'm sure that he expressed it.
Yes, nahana siya.
So,
kanana.
can you please tell us what is algorithm?
All right, learners, so as you can see in your screen,
Yes.
when we say algorithm, it is a set of instructions for solving a problem or accomplishing a task. One common example of an algorithm is, of course, a recipe, which consists of specific instructions for preparing a dish or a meal. Every computerized device uses algorithms to perform its functions in the form of hardware or software-based routines.
Yes, that's correct. So I'm sure makarelate gyud si Teacher James and kay
Yes, of
it includes algorithm is also a recipe daw, no?
Yes, a recipe.
So, mura rag recipe diya. Dili
Yeah.
na gid
Ah,
siya
nais-
murag pang
Nanay, sundo na siya. So, yes, Teacher Jade, I'm sure that you can give us an example of an algorithm.
Yes, for example, not speaking of recipe, no? So naatay cooking rice. Wow, lisod ka na. Lisod ka ng cooking rice.
I know we
John.
can all relate to that one.
Yes, muna siya pinakalisod nga lutuon.
Lisod gina siya kay ngano kung dili man gina siya matarong og luto ang rice.
Mahilaw.
matugay ang paniod to.
Malugay, guta, manudto, malugay, tana. So dapat, we have to follow, no? We have to create, no? An algorithm that will really make cooking rice nga madali, no? Madali na
Masakto.
mapas mo, di ba? Masakto.
Masakto,
Yes.
sir.
Yes.
We can print this, no?
Yes.
So learners na
So
ganahan
ato
mo kabalo.
aning kuan at naman sa yung screen screenshot na para makatabang ni iniglong agni.
Correct.
Okay, so kidding aside, no. So cooking rice, no. First sa kaning kuan man gud kaning algorithm, no, sa recipe imuhang ibutang dinha og unsay may first imong buhaton, no.
Yes.
Step 1, step 2, mga steps na siya. And then dinhi sa cooking rice, the first nga imong buhat is of course get the materials or the katong
Ingredients.
katong rice cooker.
Or the materials para
Yes,
makaluto ka
materials.
guys.
makaluto
I-prepare
ka,
mo siya
guys.
daan.
So, kung dili
Sabi
man
ng mga
gani,
materials
so
na
kung dili
lagyan.
man gani rice cooker, pili pa ka ng for example, ang yung gamit is ka ng sa kahoy nga
Cast
kuan.
iron.
Oh, so naay ka ng kaldero and then of course ang unsa pa man tubig and
Pero
then
most of the
imuhang
And of course, the
kuan.
cup.
The cup.
correct.
Yes, so muna
But
siya.
most of the time, Teacher Jade, unsa yung ginagamit yun sa balay?
Sa amuha is rice cooker. Lisod
I,
kayo
I,
nang gina
I think it's very evident to all nga rice
Yes,
cooker
correct.
Yes, sa
nakasagaran kay
karong
mas
panahon na, di ba,
easier
rice
pud
cooker
siya.
na, mas madali. And then, of course, learners, no, after ninyo okay, kung kikuha na ninyo ang rice cooker. So after that, you have to unsay next na din nimong buhaton kung maglungag ka.
Yes.
So of course, after nimo nakuha ang rice cooker, imo ganang butangan og rice. Oh.
Okay.
And then pagkahuman imuha dayong of course, isa pag butang sa rice, imo na itak-ang, dili pagid na. So you have to put or add water. Imuhang kilisan hantod sa mga paan siya. And then imuhang ibutang ang sakto nga tubig para dili siya mabaska o dili siya malata, no?
Yes.
Naampo ko yung mga amigo na anak bilang agan god. Oh. Pero dili nato na siya istoryahon. Ato na ni tiwason. So, after you add water, no? So that is step 3, no? So the step 1 is gikuha ang ato ang
Materials.
materials or the rice cooker, and then after that ato ang gitangan og rice, or and then ato ang punan og water, gi-add nag-add tag water to para maluto, of course. Kung walay tubig, dili man pud na siya maluto.
Yes.
And then after that one, step 4, cover the pot and simmer rice till it's soft. Isa pag dili nimo takluban. So imo gyud takluban, no?
Dapat soft yun siya.
Ano dapat soft gyud siya, dili gyud siya baska. So learners, no, as you observe sa atuang steps sa atuang pagluto og rice, very detailed, di ba? Kaya gid siya
Step-by-step.
Step-by-step
gid siya.
procedure.
That is algorithm, a step by step process, no, in solving problems. Or katong ito ang gibuhat kaniha. Yes?
Alright.
Pero
So,
si Teacher Jade, Teacher James, pwede ba siya i-add ato, Teacher Jade, kung unsay gyud ka ng
Other way of
sa
cooking
paglutog rice?
Yes.
Well, well, actually, it depends also to the type of rice that you are using.
Ah,
Naputay
may
mga,
rice.
or the freshness of the rice.
Okay.
Kay if, one mong good if,
Yes,
for me ha,
sakto.
if bagong ani, once rinsing is enough. But if the rice is kinda old,
dugay-dugay na, dapat din
so
siya
at least
kislan.
3 kay para dili kay siya
Ang
mawala
ako
kung
ang
powdery
nabalaan
na
sa una
substance.
gani kanang maglungag di ba kanang mais. Di ba? Ang atong ang kani nga step is atong gibutandaan ng rice, nagikislan,
So, humay ni.
tubig. So humay gid siya kay rice man. So dili man siya corn. So katong mais sa una ako ang nabalaan mag
Boil daan.
magpabukal daan og
Yes.
tubig. Pabukal og tubig and then magbukal na og tubig, ikuan rin tong katong mais.
Mais.
Ihuwad.
Huwad.
Then pagahuman pabukal na pag utro hangtod siya nga mahubas.
Huga.
Mo na to nga maluto. So
Yes.
opo na yung way. So alin ni siya learners no, ang algorithm in applying sa real life no. Kanang inyong gibuhat niyo sugod pa lang nga pag mata ninyo ning nang hilamos mo or
Yes.
nanutras mo
Ilang
kana,
routine.
algorithm na siya, ilang daily routine. That is an best example of an algorithm, especially sa real life. Yes, circle.
Alright, so since algorithm is a set of instructions which you can use in solving or accomplishing a specific task, how do you consider a good algorithm?
Yes. Learners, considering a good algorithm is the first thing is input and output should be defined precisely. Just like sa ato ang example sa pag-cook og rice, ang input ato niya is our materials.
Yes,
no?
materials.
And the output is syempre katong yung
Ito
soft
ng
finished
soft
product.
rice.
finished product, correct. Yes. Mo na siya. So in creating algorithms, learners, the input and the output should be defined and precise. Kung unsay imong gipang input, make sure ang katong output mo po'y gigawas po sa imong gipang input.
Yes, of course no, to achieve sa ato ang output, dapat ang atong input gyud is sakto and then step by step gyud siya, dili gyud ta mo laktaw no, unless kung gusto gyud ka nga nagdali ka, so you have to expect nga ang output nimo is not 100% gyud nga
Yes.
ma-meet. So
Or even makuan gud siya kanang maruwin gud imong
Maluwin,
output.
yes. Okay, the second one, quality of a good algorithm. So each step in the algorithm should be clear. Mo to kung inganiha.
Yes.
Nga dapat klaro gid siya. Dili pwede nga kanang ambiguous siya nga kana bitong kung kato yun is get the materials, ibutang gina siya. Ayaw lang iingon nga kanang
Materials
diretso ka mo butang nga magkilis kag bugas.
Imagine.
So meaning dapat before ka nagkilis og bugas unsa may imong gibuhat. So dapat mo balik jud ka sa katong pinakagamay nga detail gyud.
Correct.
Okay, para perfect siya, para 100% ma-meet nimo ang imuhang expectation nga expected nga output. Okay, the third one there is algorithms should be most effective among many different ways to solve a problem. Of course, no, that is very common to us, no, nga kana ato ang gibuhat if we have a problem no sa ato ang example wa tay sudan karong adlaw. So unsa may ato ang buhaton? We have to find
Way sudan,
way.
maglungag.
So kung
Dili
tay sudan maglungag ta kay mo katag sudan. So dili gid siya.
Dili naman,
So you have to be kanang
Resourceful or unsa ba?
yes, resourceful.
Yes.
So kung karon kay watay sudan, so unsay may first akong buhaton, naabo kay kwarta ipalit
Oh,
sudan.
mangita jud. Kung may kwarta,
Yes.
so di na manggawas pod.
Pag nanay kwarta, nakapatakag ka ng ingredients, so kung ako is inununan nga isda. So unsa may imuhang first buhaton para makaunon kag isda? The expected output there is inununan nga isda. So if we're going to kanang atong i-break down ang steps niya unsaon pagluto sa inuunang nga isda. So diha pandaan algorithm na.
Correct.
So the first thing, of course, patag isda, kung wala isda sa balay, inigda na isda, so inigda na isda, imong hugasan, imong timplahan, and everything. Tanan-tanan, sugod gud sa primero taman maabot sa imuhang
Yes.
output.
Hantod inununan ang
Mainunan ang isda.
Correct.
Yes.
Gigutom na hinon ko.
Okay,
Okay,
next.
the fourth quality of our good algorithm is an algorithm shouldn't include computer code.
Yes, that's
because if you notice, learners, sa ato ang cooking rice is wala gyud siya mga code sa computers.
Yes,
Teachers.
sa ilahan nakita
Yes.
sa screen, wala man gito yung codes.
Yes,
diba?
because make sure lang yun kay dapat readable sa tanang users or tanang mga maybe for your team ni mo pohon or even sa imong teachers po siguro kung kasi mo check ano.
Yes, that's true.
Kay kuan man na siya, unyar na gyud ta mag computer code if manggani mo gamit na tao ka na adto na kita sa mga
pag-develop sa
yes,
system.
pag-develop na sa system.
Higher level na po
Higher
na.
level na gid na siya. So, siya yung mga basic good nga mabalaan gyud dapat may balaan gyud sa mga learners in order to create or to develop a system for the innovation or nabakay magpahimo nilang system para mas mas mapasayon
Ang mga works.
Yes, that's true. Yes. Yes, Sir James.
And the last quality of a good algorithm is instead the algorithm should be written in such a way that it can be used in different programming languages.
Yes.
So what is this all about?
Okay, yes, sir.
So meaning to say, sumpay dito siya sa fourth one, no?
Yes,
Dili,
si kuan kita
Yes, that's true.
pero gi-explain naman to nimo ang number 4
Yes.
ni Sir J. Mark.
In addition no sa kanang number 5, so the algorithm should be written in such a way that it can be used in different programming languages. So sa programming man good nga world no charot programming nga world no world na gid sa continent world
Yes.
sa world is there are many programming languages no namely the C#, the C++, the Python, the sa patuban ni sir
kuan siya kanang pero mag-focus na
And
siya
many
sa Java.
more.
yes,
Many more
but
siya.
sa ato karon mga learners is nag-focus sa Java. Okay, so Java. So ang gimin ani is ang algorithm nga ilang buhaton is magamit
Sa lain.
sa tanang programming languages
Correct.
nga gamiton sa programmer. So sa ato is Java, so pwede siya magamit. Kung magamit ang line program is Python, magamit gyud ang algorithm nimo. So para dili siya masaya, dili magbalik-balik og himo sa algorithm because that's why sa number 4 gibutan shouldn't include computer code. Kay dili ang mga programming languages mo dili same
Og syntax
og
or code.
syntax or code. Okay, so muna siya purpose.
So it should be applicable to dili man sila tanan but they're applicable to other programming
Yes,
languages.
nga mas mga 90% sa mga
Yes.
programming languages nga exist, applicable siya. So there are a lot of ways on how to present or express algorithm. So for now, we will use or focus on pseudocode and flowchart. So let's go first with pseudocode. Sir Chris?
Yes, learners, pseudocode is a simple way of writing programming code in English type. No,
Yes.
Pseudocode is not actually programming language.
Yes.
It's only maybe instructions.
Yes,
no?
instructions.
And in pseudocode, it uses short phrases to write code for programs before you actually create it in a specific language.
Motong ganina katong sa cooking rice.
Yes.
Mo to siya example.
So learners, bisag malibog mo sila ba nga kay nisugot mo tag English na po yung language no? The English nga atong gihisgutan dire is about programming language just like Java nga atong gamiton pohon. Okay? Once you know what the program is about and how it will function, then you can use pseudocode to create statements to achieve the required result for your program. So now we will have an example of using pseudocode in logging into your Facebook account. Teacher James, no? Can you give us, I'm sure that you are a user also of Facebook, no?
Yes,
Dili ba?
yes.
User,
Yes. So, can you give us your password?
Uy, no.
Okay, bitaw. Sine aside, so, Teacher James, can you give us some informations that are needed in order to log in to your or to our Facebook account?
Okay, so of course, I know for sure that our learners are very familiar with Facebook, and in logging in with our own account in Facebook, of course, we need to use a browser or the Facebook app itself.
If you're using your mobile
browser,
phone.
browser siya if they are using desktop or laptop.
Yes.
Or pwede po sa phone mag-browser, di ba? Sa mobile phone.
And then, if ma-open na nimo si Facebook, mag-login na din ka using sa imuhang username and password.
Yes. So those are the information nga dapat natong mo nga ato ang kinahanglanon no in order nga makalog-in ta sa Facebook.
So kini siya mura siya na registered na siya daan, no?
Yes, na-register na siya. So in this example, ato ang gi-assume nga the user
Is registered already.
naka-sign up na.
Correct.
Na siya account sa Facebook. And then ang ato is logging in, no?
Yes.
So, of course, no, So katong giingon ni Sir James ganina nga the browser and then the Facebook app kay dili man pud ta makasulod sa Facebook if there's no browser and then there's no Facebook app in smartphones.
Yes.
And then of course dili pud ta ka-login kung wala username and password. So now let's proceed to the organizing of the
Yes.
information.
We're done with selecting.
With selecting. So as sa ato ang competency, select man and then organize.
Yes.
So the first thing atong gihimot is select the information. So ang atong gi-select is katong username o password nato. And then let's proceed to the organizing na dayon sa information nga to ang na-select. So naamo din learners, nakakita mo sa inyong screen now nga naay kanang begin and then ay end. Okay, so now, sa begin, of course, mo na siya pinakauna, start.
You
no?
can use actually start or
yes.
begin.
Start or begin. And then, so step 1, there is open your browser.
Yes.
So, i-open mo imong browser. Kasi may sir, what if may yung pagkog i-on sa nako kong cellphone or i-on sa nako kong desktop? Pwede ni mo
Pwede
ibutang
po.
dira,
It
di ba?
depends on you.
It depends on you.
Yeah, sure.
On na.
And you have an internet connection to wapo internet sir.
So it's
diba?
up to you no on how you justify
Yes.
your steps in the
Correct.
game mo. So there no, first is open your browser. After that, you're going to enter or type the facebook.com in the address bar of your browser katong nasa baba katong naay kanang sa URL. And then after that, may load ka imong internet is kusog kaayo, mugawas mo dayon
20
pila ka
BPS.
20 BPS fiber. So gawas mga milliseconds sa gawas dayon ng Facebook nga
Yes.
nga kanang interface. So after that, imuhang i-enter din ang imuhang username, imuhang register, and then after that your password, the fourth step. And then after that, imuhang i-click ang login, no? And then while username and password are registered. Now, naay nakita niyo din learners na ay true, naapoy false. So dinhi na dayon mo fall ang
Programming na siya.
programming na din siya.
Yes.
Naanay condition.
But this is not a computer code.
Yes, dili siya.
English type lang
English
yapon
type.
siya.
So, muna siya example sa pseudocode, no? Sa pseudocode mo nang English set of instructions naman siya. So wala man siya code. Pag sa coding na dito na din atong mga syntax, mga codes na dayon. So here, na as you observe there, no, while username and password are registered. So if ang username ug ang password is na register na, of course, if true, meaning sakto siya, no? So mo display na rin ang imuhang Facebook na kung katulad yung imuhang newsfeed
Yes.
nimo.
Correct.
Yes.
So,
But
open nimo ang imong
ma-open na
account.
nimo.
Yes.
But if na false siya, it means nga wala siya na register or wrong ang
Ay,
password ni
sayop
imuhang
nga
ibutang,
na-input.
nasayop ibutang, no, na caps lock
Correct.
baka nimo or whatever,
Yes.
or gi-change imong uyab, no?
Mo change din ha?
Basin.
Or
Change
na-hack.
imong uyab
Na-hack,
or
no?
na-hack or
Same
something like
uyab.
that. Let's go uyab.
Kaya uso ra ba kay karon ng
yes,
hack?
no. So gi-change siya or naisayop and everything nga wala siya ning meet sa unsay gyud dapat nga password
Yes.
or kung wala pud siya na register gyud. So ma-false siya. Meaning, gilang learners, kaya ato agad nang i-explain og ayo
Yes.
unsa nang true ug false inig na sa,
Correct.
sa coding na nga part. So here as just a background lang kung sa ang algorithm. So naiutan dia go to step 3. So meaning mo balik sa step 3.
Nga step 3 man.
Yes.
Mr. James. Yeah.
Yes, ang nganong step 3 siya because 'di ba nakabantay mo learners kita Sir James no nga if wrong ang ato ang password nga na-type or ato ang username mo reload siya then mo balik ka sa same ra gihapon nga page and then nakabutan dito incorrect
Invalid.
password
Yes.
no
Yes.
incorrect username and password. So si Facebook din command sa imuha nga i-enter ug outro imuhang username ug password. That's why nakabutan din na go to step 3 which is ang step 3 diha sa inyong algorithm sa pseudocode nga enter your username and then sunod na po enter your password
Yes.
and hangtod nga ma-true siya. Once nga ma-true siya or ma-meet na gid niya, mo display na gid. Kaya ang output ana is ma-display ang imong Facebook
Yes.
account. And then after that, if ma-display na siya, end na dayon.
Correct.
So, muna siya kanang indicator, no?
Nga
Nga
naman.
na-end na, nga na-meet na ang imong expected nga output.
Abi no, hantod ma-block siya, no?
Hantod ma-block siya.
Teacher James?
Yes.
All right, so since we are talking about instructions in algorithm and now our learners are able to use pseudocode to present their algorithms, do our learners need to follow some rules while they are writing pseudocodes?
Okay, so we have rules, no, in writing pseudocode. So, the first one is the write only one statement per line. So, kato ng ganina, nakita nila, write what you mean and then not how to program it. So, kato ng detail. And then give proper identification to show hierarchy and make code understandable. And then, make the program as simple as possible. So, dili ginato i-complicate ang tanang butang.
Dili good.
Yes. And then, conditions and loops must be specified well. So, muna ni katong ganiha nga, ato ang gibutang kato na ay begin or ganang begun and then it ended explicitly. Itong begin and end and then naig mga conditions. Katong if true siya, mo display. If false siya, mo balik siya. Okay? And then, yes, sir.
Yes, so sa previous na to example, it was a real life example nga ang user is only using an app or a system.
Yes.
Okay. So right now, Teacher Jade, pwede ba ta makahatag another example na to nga pwede na to siya magamit sa program? Murag introduction sa nato ron ba?
Yes. Okay, so for the introduction, no, so ang example kaniya is about the real life no example. Now, we have an example that relates in computer programming itself, no. So this is the introduction, no. So pseudocode to find the sum of two numbers. As you observe there, sum of two numbers because in programming there are a lot of numbers there. No? So here, no? So narin na kabutang start and then na-stop sa last. So start muna siya first nga mahitabo sa inyong system or sa inyong codes ninyo ngayong ikuan. So integer, so first number and then the second number and then the sum. So si first number, second number ug sum muna siya ang ito ang basihan. And then ang output niya is enter ang first number and then gi-input dayon nimo ang first number. And then ang output na pud next is enter the second number and then input nimo si second number. Kaya ato amang kwaon ang sum sa duha ka number, di ba? So now, ato ada yung i-assign ang sum sa first number plus the second number and then ang output nato is makuha na dayon ang sum sa duha ka number which is sum of this number is unsay gi-assign sa user. And then stop na din, na-end na din siya as long as makuha na din ang final nga output.
Yeah, mura na ni siya guan if you're using a calculator and you're trying to get the sum of two numbers, no?
Yes.
The first thing, wala lang siya enter the first number.
Oh.
Ang calculator only receive or accepts numbers.
Yes.
Yes.
Based on sa imong gibutang.
Yes. So pero wala siya sum pod nga mingon siya nga output sum of these numbers. Automatically if you will press 2 then plus 2 and you will press equal sign,
Automatic mo gawa si Sam.
yeah. So 2 plus 2 4. Okay, very good.
Lisod kayo ay. Una ko diya ko 4 di ay.
Okay.
Okay, sir.
Inga
Sir Chris.
naka-bright ang atong mga teachers class.
Okay.
Okay, Sir Chris.
So next, in using pseudocode, you can trace every line that you can, every line sa pseudocode, whether your pseudocode is correct or not. So you need to check it first.
Yes.
Dili siya ingon imo siya i-submit diri sa learners. There are times nga imuhang gipang input, dili siya mugawa sa ang imong desired nga output.
Yes.
No? Flash in your screen there, another way is, first, ato ang pseudocode is, ang first line is integer, first number, second number, sum, because we're only getting the sum of two numbers.
No?
So, actually, there's first line, it is what you call declaration of variables. Pero soon, moabot ra gitana sa atong one. It's just telling another user or maybe sa imong pseudocode nga, we have two numbers and also a sum.
Yes.
Okay? So, first, magawa siya output. Output, magawa siya meaning magawa sa screen. Enter
the first
number. Then, for example, if you will input the first number, for example, we're getting 147.
Yes, ang
no?
first number is 147.
So, ato na siyang i-memorize, 147. Kaya ato nang kwaon sa niya. Pila to? 147. So, next is
Ang first number.
First number na siya.
Yes.
Bantay, sir ko. Bisa mong tanah ko pila isama ni.
Pag-andam dahil pagka-quick the answer ko.
Sige.
Ako nang iadaan.
Okay, next is
Second number.
Yes, second number. Mingon na po ang atong system nga output or enter the second number.
Yes.
So the the system or your pseudocode will ask another number since you are done with your first number. So you need to enter the second or input the second number.
Which is, ang second number?
So second number na to, ato ibutang og 93 lang?
93.
Okay,
93. Okay. So,
Kada
kanya
number-
147.
Kada number, 93 ba, Jude?
93.
Okay, go.
Pwede ito, Osborne, no?
Okay.
93
Okay.
yan.
So after that,
After
no?
that, your pseudocode, simply, we're getting the sum.
Oh.
Okay, of the first and second number.
Yes.
Ang atong sum is auto siyang i-assign.
Yes.
No, assigned sum is equals to the first number which is the 100.
47.
147. Yes, pag-calculator good sir.
Nagkalkul ako daan.
Yes.
Okay.
So that's our first number,
First
the
number,
147.
And it will be added to the plus sign. Siyempre sa mathematics operation na may
muna
plus
siya
sign.
arithmetic
No?
operation.
Yes. The second number is the it will add be the second number. So unsa the second number?
93.
93.
Yes, wow, gabi kay memorize si Sir James.
Very
Very
good.
good.
Very good din siya.
And then, the
next,
sum?
The sum, mayroon ang atong pseudocode nga, since we're done assigning the sum of the first and the second number, atong i-output or display na to ang sum of this number and iyahang kuha niya kanang answer niya
Answer
duha
niya.
ka
Oh,
number.
tapad niya answer dayon.
Yes.
So, unsay
Unsay
answer?
nga?
So when we add 147 plus 93, of course, I'm using my calculator here.
Wala.
The answer is 240 class.
Ano?
Wow. Ato assignment.
Assignment.
Ato
Sakto
po.
gid siya.
Sakto siya.
Okay.
Yes. So 240.
Nindot po guys ni Teacher James kay iya jung gi-check sa calculator because if man gani dili sayop ang
Yes.
output, it means that your pseudocode is
Wrong.
correct, wrong.
Wrong.
There's something wrong with the code.
Yes, correct.
With the pseudocode.
Ano lang siya. Alam ko sa'yo pag-trace sa kuan.
Yes.
Because tracing class in your pseudocode or even another for your system, it will tell maybe you or maybe sa imuhang mga another programmer apuhon nga ang imuhang code nimo is correct. Siyempre, you will not display the wrong kanang
Wrong
output, no?
yes.
Siya, pag display nimo og for example katong input ka sa imong
Yes.
sa imong username mo ang password sa imong Facebook amo gawas kay YouTube mo gas
Yes.
sa'yo pod, no?
Yes, that's
Okay.
wrong. So you have to check no if that is correct or not using your calculator.
Correct.
Okay,
Sakto,
sir.
yun.
Yes, sir, Chris.
Yes, so I think learners, that's all for our topic for this afternoon. For Java Programming NC2 and also for Housekeeping NC2. So, I need you to please get your SLMs. And our activity for this afternoon is create a pseudocode that enters two numbers and displays the product of two numbers. So,
Okay.
twist lang gamay,
twist
no?
lang gamay na to,
Oo,
no?
twist lang gamay.
Based sa unsay naa din ha sa to.
Equivalent to pila?
2,000. 20 points.
20 points.
Yes.
Very good.
All right. Now, so I guess we are done with our subject, computer programming.
Yes.
No?
And also,
So,
housekeeping.
Housekeeping NC2. So, we hope now that you've learned something new today in Java Programming NC3. But before we end, please take note, learners, of our second attendance marker flash on the top of your screen. Yes. So, ato ang pasalamatan no si Sir Charleston Hera no for the documentation ngayon
Yes.
yata para sa
Salamat ang nagid
exactly.
sa
Yes.
presensya gid sa ato ang trabaho din.
and of course our technical team nga naari ako Ma'am Shermini, Sir
Shermini.
Norbel, and then
Of course,
Sir-
our executive
Sir
producer,
Gas
Sir
Sapi,
Gas
our executive
Sapi.
producer, and then the learners, no?
Yes. Okay, sir. This is Teacher Chris from Sumirap National High School.
This has been Teacher Jade from Tango City National High School.
And this has been Teacher James Marpisa Porno of Sumirap National High School saying continue learning and hashtag Shine Tanggub Stars. This is Astral Academy Cyber School.
Bye!
The Department of Education, Division of Dangub City, in partnership with the local government unit of Dangub, presents Ang Tangkub, transforming advancement in the new normal, guiding K-12 learners under broadcast media, crafted in response to the need of making education possible and accessible to students at the comfort of their homes. It covers the most essential competencies thematically layered in drama plays, which were originally written, directed, and performed by teachers to see to it that education is securely provided. This is Ang Tangkub.
It's Tangkub, Tangkub, Tangkub time. We learn all things, it's very fun, masaya. Tangkub na.
What's up, grade 7 learners? Welcome to our new episode in TV-based instructions of Ang Tangkub, where we bring you the lessons direct to your homes. Kaya mga learners, maghanda na para sa ating nakakapanabi na aralin. Last episode, we discussed the arts and crafts in Mindanao. In today's episode, you will be going to incorporate the design, form, and spirit of artifacts and objects from Mindanao to one's creation. Traces the external or foreign and internal or indigenous influences that are reflected in the design of an artwork and in the making of a craft or artifact, and creates crafts that can be locally assembled with the local materials, guided by the local traditional techniques. Arts and crafts of Mindanao: attire, textiles, and tapestries. Bilaan: the women cut mother of pearl into small shapes that look like sequins called takmun to form geometric patterns. Their textile usually contain 3 colors: shade of black or brown, red or sheer, darker shade of orange, and erko, the color of undyed abaca. The Bilaans put high value on their textiles. Bagubo: they make ceremonial attire from special textile woven abaca fibers called tinalak. Tibuli: they consider the tinalak as sacred. The weavers believed that their gods and ancestors visit them in their dreams to teach them the design and patterns that they have to weave. The weaver is forbidden to mate with her husband during the weaving process. Men are not allowed to touch the materials used in the weaving process. It is believed that if they break these rules, the fiber will snap and the design will be ruined. Maranao: the Maranaos are known for their malong, the hand-woven or machine-made multicolored cotton cloth which bears a variety of geometric or floral. Yakan: Yakan hand-loomed fabrics are known for their use of bold colors and geometric patterns. Crafts, accessories, and body ornaments. Sari manok: it is depicted as a fowl or rooster with colorful wings and a feathered tail holding a fish on its beak or talons. Its head is abundantly decorated with scroll, leaf, and spiral. Okir: Okir motif is a new pattern that has evolved from the Indian stylized
bird-like, and Naga themes, and the Islamic tradition of using flowing flowers, vines, and geometric patterns, as well as local artist styles. It refers to traditional and unique carving among the Moro ethno-linguistic communities.
Face makeup and body ornaments. A distinct form of visual arts in the Yakan is a facial makeup applied on brides and grooms. After applying a foundation of white powder, dots and lines are painted in various patterns on the faces, creating the effect of formal and elaborated masks which match the ornate costumes of the couple.
Tibuli accessories. Hilot is a heavy brass belt worn by women during festivals. The Tibuli nobility wear it with bracelet and anklets, furnished with ball bearings that make a sound as the wearer walks. The bells that are hung from the distinctive brass or beaded belts signal the approach of a woman.
Architecture. Turugan. The Turugan is the ancestral house of the upper-class Maranao. Panolong, a wing-like ornament flaring out from the beams, is a part of Turugan.
Monastery of the Transfiguration of Bukidnon. The pyramid-like structure was designed by national artist for architecture, Leandro Locsin.
Santo Rosario Church of Camigan. The original church was built in 1882 using coral stones, but its infrastructures were too weak. It was renovated with steel bars using modern buildings techniques. Inside the church are the driftwood chandeliers and altar. The builders used woven bamboo skin, which highlights the local traditions of the island.
Sculpture. Maitom jar. It is an earthenware or clay vessel for secondary burial jar from Sarangani province. These jars are not only artistically significant, but also hold key information of historical and anthropological importance.
Maranao wood carving and metal casting. Kampilan is a single-edged steel sword with a handle made of hand-carved ivory in a form of head of a naga or serpent, handcrafted gold and hang horse hair at the bottom of the handle.
Batigi. Batigi is a large manual carved wooden top inland with mother of pearl.
Functional art. Balangay or balanghay. These artifacts are estimated to measure 15 meters long and 3 to 4 meters wide, propelled by sail of buri or nipa fiber or padding, and holds 60 to 90 people. It is used for trade and migration.
Venta. It is consists of several colors and geometric shapes, representing the colorful culture and history of the Muslim people.
The external and internal influences of the artwork in Brunei, Indonesia, and Malaysia to the Philippine arts. Fabric design in Brunei. Brunei produces fabric for making gowns and sarong. The weaving and decoration of the cloth, as well as wearing, displaying the exchange of it, have been an important part of Bruneian culture for years. Two types of clothing in Brunei are called batik and ikat. Batik is dyed cotton cloth decorated through a technique known as wax resist dyeing. Workers start from plain cotton and draw patterns with melted wax. The cloth is dipped in dye that colors unprotected fabric. Ikat is made through a similar process as batik, but instead of dyeing the pattern onto finished cloth, it is created during weaving. Ikat patterns were specific to cultural groups and were passed down from generation to generation.
Indonesia. Machine-made printed malongs are made in Indonesia specifically for export to the Philippines and are commonly referred to as batik. Because the item is imported, those inexpensive machine-made malongs are used for everyday purposes. The malong and other Philippine wrap-around skirts are related to the sarong worn by peoples in other parts of maritime Southeast Asia.
Malaysia. Batik is a textile art in Malaysia. The most popular motif are leaves and flowers. Malaysian batik representing humans and animals are rare because Islam norms disallow animal images as decoration. However, the butterfly theme is a common exemption. The Malaysian batik is famous for its geometric design such as spiral.
Philippines. Weaving involves many threads being measured, cut, and mounted to a wooden platform. The threads are tied and weaved on a loom. Native Filipinos weaved using fibers from abaca, cotton, and dark cloth. Textiles, cloth, rugs, and hats were weaved. They also used weaving to make just about all of the clothing that was worn. Hand-woven malongs are made by Maranao, Maguindanao, and Tibuli weavers on a black strap loom. Arts and crafts from the external and internal influences. Brunei. Traditional arts and crafts form a large section of Brunei's cultural heritage. Boat making, silversmithing, bronze tooling, cloth weaving, and basket making are examples of the types of artistry celebrated and followed in the modern-day culture. Indonesia, considered as home of world handicraft. Indonesian arts and crafts are diverse. Jewelry, beadwork, batik, pottery, metal, baskets, wood carving, and stone carving. Every ethnic group has its own uniqueness, style, and philosophy of crafting. Villages in the Lesser Sunda Islands produce ikat, while provinces in Kalimantan are long known for their basketry and weaving using rattan and other natural fabrics. Malaysia, Wow Bulan, one of the Malaysian national symbols, is a complicated moon kite design. Bulan means moon. Its name is from the crescent moon-like shape found at the lower section of the kite. Philippines. Baskets are weaved in Philippines. These are commonly used to transport grain, store food, and catch fish.
Sculpture in Brunei, Indonesia, Malaysia, and Philippines. Brunei. Sculpture in Brunei takes on a more functional role than one ornamental one. The people have a long tradition as excellent craftsmen using bronze and silver to create adornments and functional items such as bowls, tools, and the like. Indonesia. The Indonesian sculptures' skill are impressive. How they handle the metal tools, the sharp carving tools, slowly putting away wood chips and transform a rough wood log into art. Traditional carvings decorated walls, doors, and columns. Malaysia. Most of Malaysian sculptures are relief. These are partially carved into or out of another surface. Relief wood carving frequently adorn the doors, walls, and windows of traditional Malay houses. Philippines. Sculpture is one of the most familiar art form among Filipinos. The most popular wood carving in the Philippines are carvings of the Anitos or natural gods, Santos or Saint, and the statue of the Christ and the Blessed Mother. Sculpture has undergone changes in terms of shape, size, and the medium used. That's all, learners! We hope you learn new things today.
Kindly get your pen and self-learning materials in Arts 7. Activity 1. Directions. Prepare the materials needed. Then, follow the procedure on your self-learning material. Activity 2. Directions. Observe the pictures on your self-learning materials. Choose which artwork is influenced by the following Asian countries in the word pool on your self-learning material. Activity 3. Jewelry paper making. Directions. Prepare the materials needed. Then, follow the procedure on your self-learning material.
For more questions or clarification, you may contact the number of your subject teacher printed below your SLM.
Nahuli ka ba sa ating episode ngayon? Worry no more, dahil mapapanood pa rin ang mga episodes sa aming YouTube channel, ang Astral Academy. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell para updated ka sa mga bagong aralin.
Good luck, learners! We know you can do it.
Expect for more MAPI lessons in the next episode. Always remember, believe in yourself.
And have faith in your abilities.
Paano ba malalaman kung tama ang iyong piniling uri ng pagpapahalaga? Bakit mo kailangang piliin ang mas mataas na antas ng pagpapahalaga? Ano ang maganda na maaari nitong maidulot para sa iyo? Ang mga pinahahalagahan mo ba ngayon ay makakaapekto sa kung ano ang maaaring maging kinabukasan mo? Ano-ano ba ang mahalaga sa isang kabataang katulad mo?
Magandang araw, grade 7 learners! Sa araw na ito ay pagtutuunan natin ng pansin ang tungkol sa gabay tungo sa pag-unlad ng pagkatao. Maraming maaaring maging sagot sa tanong na ito sapagkat magkakaiba ang pamantayan sa mga pinahahalagahan ng bawat individual.
Maaaring ang iyong sagot ay pagkain, hangin, buhay, pag-aaral, magulang o kaibigan, at iba pang material at di-material na bagay na para sa sarili mong pananaw ay mahalaga.
Bagamat magkakaiba ang antas ng pagpapahalaga ng tao, mahalagang hamon sa atin, lalo na sa iyo, ang pagsasabuhay ng mas mataas na antas ng pagpapahalaga sa isang sitwasyon. Ito ay sa pamamagitan ng palaging pagpili na gawin ang mas mataas na antas ng pagpapahalaga kaysa mababang antas. Sa ganitong paraan ay mas nasisigurado mong ginagawa mo ang tama at mabuti. Ayon kay Max Keller, ang moral na kilos ay nagaganap kung ang isang tao ay pumipili ng isang pagpapahalaga kapalit ng iba pang mga pagpapahalaga. Ang paghuhusga sa pagiging mabuti o masama ng kilos ng tao ay nakasalalay sa pagpili ng pahahalagahan. Sa mga gawaing maituturing ng sariling konsensya bilang mabuti, nakikita na mas pinipili ang mataas na pagpapahalaga kaysa mababang pagpapahalaga o positibong pagpapahalaga kaysa negatibong pagpapahalaga. Sa kabilang banda, may tuturing na masama ang isang gawain kung mas piniling gawin ang mas mababa kaysa mataas na pagpapahalaga o negatibo kaysa positibong pagpapahalaga. Ang pananalig ng paggawa ng mabuti na nangangahulugan ng pagpili ng mas mataas na mga pagpapahalaga laban sa masama ang nakapagpapataas sa pagkatao ng tao. Sa pagbuo ng pagkatao ng tao, at sa pagkamit ng mas mataas na mga pagpapahalaga, mahalagang malinaw sa iyo na nakasalalay ito sa pagkakaroon ng sapat na kaalaman at kahandaan na pumili ng tama at batay sa mga moral na prinsipyo.
May mga tiyak na hakbang upang mapataas ang antas ng pagpapahalaga. Ang tao ay nilikhang likas na mabuti ng Panginoon. Nakagagawa lamang tayo ng mga kasalanan dahil na rin sa mga mali o mababang uri ng pagpapahalaga. Ang paghuhusga sa pagiging mabuti o masama na kilos ng tao ay nakasalalay sa pagpili ng pahahalagahan.
Sa makatuwid, ang mas mataas na antas na pagpapahalaga ay nakatutulong sa iyo upang maging mas mabuting tao. Maraming mga paraan upang ang pagpapahalaga ay mapataas katulad ng pagkakaroon ng mas malalim na pagsusuri sa mga pinahahalagahan, pagkakaroon ng mga bertud na gagabay sa iyong mga pagpapahalaga kagaya ng pagsisimba o di kaya ay pagtulong sa kapwa. Maaari ka ring magtanong sa mga mas nakatatanda o maghanap ng mga mabuting ehemplo na maaari mong tularan. Magagawa mong mapataas ang antas ng iyong pagpapahalaga kapag naisa puso at naisa buhay mo ang kahalagahan ng mataas na antas ng pagpapahalaga. Ang pagsasagawa ng nararapat at mga tiyak na hakbang upang mapataas ang sariling pagpapahalaga ay nagbubunga ng kabutihan, hindi lamang para sa sarili, kundi pati na rin sa ibang tao.
Narito ang mga halimbawa. Kung gagawa ka ng isang aksyon, suriing mabuti kung tama at sa ikabubuti ng nakararami ang pipiliin. Ang dapat na maging intensyon mo ay pagpili na may mabuting epekto sa iyo at sa lahat. At huwag nating kaligtaan ang paggawa ng mabuti at ang pagtulong sa kapwa, sapagkat iyan ang alay na kinalulugdan ng Diyos.
Ngayon ay patunayan mo ang iyong piniling uri ng pagpapahalaga batay sa hierarkiya ng pagpapahalaga na gabay sa makatotohanang pag-unlad ng ating pagkatao at naisasagawa ang paglalapat ng mga tiyak na hakbang upang mapataas ang antas ng kaniyang mga pagpapahalaga. Basahin at unawain mabuti ang panuto. Simulan na ang pagsagot, learners! Huwag kaligtaang isulat ang iyong pangalan. At dito lang muna sa ngayon. Hanggang sa muli!
What's up, grade 8 learners? Welcome to our new episode in TV-based instruction of Ang Tangku, where we bring you the lessons direct to your homes. Kaya mga bata,
Maghanda na para sa ating nakakapanabik na aralin.
last episode, we discussed the different arts and craft in South Asia. In today's episode, you will be going to trace the external and internal influences that are reflected in the design of artwork and in the making of a craft. Create arts and crafts that can be locally assembled with local materials, guided by the local traditional techniques. Derive elements from traditions or history of a community for one's artwork. Show the relationship of the development of crafts in specific countries in Central and West Asia according to functionality, traditional specialized expertise, and availability of resources. And show the commonalities and the differences of the cultures of the Central and West Asian countries in relation to Philippine culture.
The arts of Central and West Asia. Central Asian region consists of the former Soviet republics of Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Tajikistan, Turkmenistan, and Uzbekistan. It is also colloquially referred to as the stans, and the countries generally considered to be within the region all have names ending with the Persian suffix stan, meaning land of. Various neighboring areas are sometimes also considered part of the region.
Arts of Central Asia. Arts of Uzbekistan. Making printed cloth was very popular among the people who inhabited the region of present Uzbekistan. Printed tablecloths, curtains, bedspreads, shawls, high-quality cloth for women's garments, various coverlets, and even funeral ceremonies and other piece and metrical printed articles perform a utilitarian function and serve as a daily routine ornament. Uzbekistan ceramic art, through many centuries, was the most developed crafts in this region. The most famous Uzbekistan ceramic artifacts are made in Rishtan. It is renowned for the blue glaze score. Rishtan ceramics is mostly decorated with herbal elements as well as images of kumgans, birds, fishes, elements of architectural adornments.
Arts of Kazakhstan. The Kazakhs were traditionally pastoral nomads, dwelling year-round in portable, dome-shaped tents constructed of dismountable wooden frames covered with felt. The harsh conditions of a nomadic life forced people to produce all necessities on their own. Kazakh folk craft tradition was thereby born out of that necessity, with items meeting the need of the people and rarely being used for trade. Among nomadic tribes, the type of handicraft work was delegated by gender. Men were engaged in the processing of wood, metal, leather, and other types of industrial that require strength and were traditionally associated with male activities. Women worked in areas where perseverance and hard work were needed, making and processing felt of wool and various types of weaving and embroidery.
Arts of Tajikistan. Tajiks are very ancient nation. Hence, the culture of these people is rather unique and originates somewhere in extreme antiquity. Tajiks have managed to present the traditions and customs of people. From time immemorial, Tajiks have been famous for creation of nation craftsmen. These skillful hands have been making fabrics, utensils, musical instruments, carpets, furniture, jewelry, and many other things for many centuries using only natural ecological pure raw materials. The art of decorative carving is very important for the local residents. It decorates the monuments of architecture, household objects, musical instruments, utensils, doors, frames, souvenirs, and so forth. This is one of the most ancient and widespread crafts in Tajikistan. There are wood carving such as utensil and furniture, stone carving and gancho, which is architectural monuments, houses, and interior decoration.
Arts of Turkmenistan. Turkmenistan culture is slightly different from the cultural traditions of the neighboring Muslim states of the Central Asia. The reason of this is that the ancestors of the Turkmen were nomadic tribes, whereas the lands of modern Tajikistan and Uzbekistan were populated by settled tribes of farmers. The traditional art of Turkmen include felt manufacture, jewelry making, woodwork, ceramics, and silverwork, but the two crafts in which Turkmen excel are silk manufacture and carpet making. Turkmenistan produces some of the most unique and beautiful carpets in the world. Carpet weaving is an ancient art, and each tribe developed its own distinctive pattern. Turkmen carpets have been traditionally woven out of wool, cotton, and silk by women, using horizontal looms. The method of weaving has modernized, but the beauty and quality of the fabrics remains.
Arts of Kyrgyzstan. As nomads, the Kyrgyz people always live closely with nature. From their housing to their clothing, everything was designed to adapt to changing weather and locations. Yurts are easy to make part and carry, and can be made warmer for winter and cooler for summer. The textiles inside the yurts, such as sherdaks and tushkish, take their inspiration from design found in nature, such as plants, animals, and landscapes. Even clothing was made out of natural materials and designed to be comfortable while still stylish.
Arts of West Asia. West Asia, also Western Asia, is entirely a part of the Middle East. It includes Anatolia, the Arabian Peninsula, Iran, Mesopotamia, and the Levant region, the island of Cyprus, the Sinai Peninsula, and partly Transcaucasia. 20 countries are located fully or partly in Western Asia, out of which 13 are part of the Arab world. The most populous countries in Western Asia are Iran, Turkey, Iraq, Saudi Arabia, and Yemen. West Asian art encompasses the arts of the Near East, includes the ancient art of Mesopotamia, and more recently becoming dominant by Islamic art, arts of Mesopotamia. The emphasis of the art of Mesopotamia was on various, very durable forms of sculpture in stones and clay. Little painting has survived. Mesopotamian art survives in a number of forms: cylinder seals, relatively small figures in the round, and reliefs of various sizes.
Islamic art. Islamic art is difficult to characterize because it covers a wide range of lands, periods, and genres, including architecture, calligraphy, miniature, glass, pottery, and textile arts. Religious arts is represented by calligraphy, architecture, and furnishings of religious buildings such as mosque fittings, woodwork, and carpets. That's all grade 8 learners. We hope you learned new things today.
Kindly get your pen and self-learning materials in Arts 8. Activity 1. Directions. Write the letter of the correct answer on a separate sheet of paper. Activity 2. Directions. Express how much you understand the lesson and how you can relate with the culture of other countries to our own country.
For more questions or clarification, you may contact the number of your subject teacher printed below your SLM.
Nahuli ka ba sa ating episode ngayon? Worry no more, dahil mapapanood pa rin ang mga episodes sa aming YouTube channel, ang Astral Academy. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell para updated ka sa mga bagong aralin.
Good luck, learners! We know you can do it!
Expect for more MAPI lessons in the next episode. Always remember, believe in yourself.
And have faith in your abilities.
Ngayong panahon ng pandemya, maraming nagpakita ng mabubuting gawa sa kanilang kapwa. Nandyan ang pag-aabot ng tulong sa mga pamilya na naapektuhan ng community quarantine at marami pang iba.
Mayroon ba kayong kilalang tao na nagpakita ng kabutihan sa kanilang kapwa ngayong panahon ng pandemya? Kung ang sagot mo ay oo, paano ba ipinaabot ng mga tinutulungan ang kanilang pasasalamat sa kilala mong tao na nagpapakita ng kabutihang loob? Mayroon bang natanggap ng mga relief goods at iba pang tulong mula sa gobyerno? Mga kaanak at mga kaibigan ng iyong pamilya mula ng pagsisimula ng pandemya hanggang ngayon? Kung oo ang sagot mo, narinig mo ba sa iyong mga magulang ang kanilang taus-pusong pasasalamat sa inyong natanggap na tulong mula sa kapwa? Magandang araw, grade 8 learners! Sa araw na ito ay ating pag-uusapan ang tungkol sa mga angkop na kilos ng pasasalamat. Ang salitang salamat ay tumutukoy sa pagpapahayag ng ating damdamin na kung saan nagbibigay pugay tayo o pinahalagahan natin ang kung ano man ang natanggap natin. Marahil, hindi lahat ng tao ay madalas nagsasabi nito. Ngunit, naniniwala ako na ang bawat isa sa atin ay may kanya-kanyang paraan upang ipamalas ang pagpapasalamat sa mga tao na tumutulong sa atin at bahagi ng pasasalamat sa kapwa ay ang pagkakaawang gawa o sa salitang Ingles na charity. Oo. At ito ang pag-abot ng ating kamay upang tugunan ang pangangailangan ng iba at pagbalik ng tulong na ibinahagi sa iyo ng iyong kapwa. Sa pamamagitan ng pagtulong, natutunan nating damhin ang pangangailangan ng iba at makapag-isip ng praktikal na paraan upang mabawasan ang kanilang paghihirap. Narito ang ilang praktikal na paraan upang maipakita ang pasasalamat sa kapwa at pagkakawang gawa. Una, simula ng araw na magpasalamat sa Diyos at tanggapin ang pag-ibig niya. Kaya ka nakapagpapakita ng pagmamahal sa iba ay dahil sa naranasan mo sa iyong buhay ang pagmamahal ng Diyos. Pangalawa, manalangin na gamitin ka ng Diyos para abutin ang iba. Maging bukas sa paggabay ng Diyos upang dalhin ka sa isang taong may pangangailangan. Manalangin ng karunungan upang malaman kung paano makatutulong kahit sa simpleng pamamaraan. Pangatlo, laging isipin na may paraan kang magagawa upang makatulong sa iyong kapwa. Tandaan, ang pagtulong sa kapwa ay pagpapakita rin ng pasasalamat sa lahat ng pagpapala na ipinagkatiwala sa atin ng Diyos. 4, himukin ang iba na maging kasama mo sa pag-abot ng iyong kapwa. Huwag kaligtaan ang maaaring itulong ng iba. 5, maging mapagpasalamat. Sa bawat oportunidad na makatulong, ugaliing magpasalamat. Ang pasasalamat ay halaw sa mga salitang pasa
at salamat. Ibig sabihin ay mga bagay na naisagawa dahil sa nais mong ipasa ang maganda at maayos na pakikitungo na ipinadama ng iyong kapwa. At dahil ito ay iyong naranasan, nais mo rin itong ipasa sa iba.
Sa puntong ito ay sisimulan na natin ang pagsagot sa gawain. Sabayan niyo ako sa pagbasa sa panuto.
Panuto. Itala sa loob ng kahon ang iba't ibang paraan na nagpapakita ng pasasalamat na ginawang kabutihan ng iyong kapwa.
O ngayon learners, simulan na ang pagsagot. Huwag kaligtang isulat ang iyong pangalan.
Hanggang sa susunod na tagpo, learners!
What's up, grade 9 learners? Welcome to our new episode in TV-based instruction of Ang Tangku,
where we bring you the lessons direct to your homes.
Kaya mga learners,
Kindly prepare your pen, your paper, and your bag of patience.
last episode we discussed the art production in neoclassical and romantic period. In today's episode, you will be going to reflect on and derive the mood, idea, or message from selected artwork. Explains the use or function of artworks by evaluating their utilization and combination of art elements and principles. Uses artworks to derive the traditions or history of the neoclassic and romantic period, and compares the characteristics of artwork produced in the neoclassic and romantic period.
Elements and principles of art in neoclassical and romantic periods. Artworks are capable of conveying relevant and sensible ideas by showcasing the full expression and mindful display of the artist's imagination. Kindly review this table from the last episode. Here are the selected artworks that are popular in the neoclassical and romantic periods. The Oath of Horace by David and the 3rd of May in 1808.
Mood in art appreciation is the general atmosphere or state of mind and feelings that a work of art generates. For example, the mood of a painting could be disturbing, tranquil, dark, or energetic. Determining the rule or function of artwork might be hard and challenging. But if one has inadequate information about how we perceive message of artwork, as we all know that artwork communicates, it somehow transpires the question, why this artwork created for? Artworks function classified into two, which is motivated and non-motivated. Now let's discuss the first function. Motivated function of artwork or functional refers to artworks that are made intentionally for use in conscious actions of the creator or artist. It illustrates another discipline that people could take advantage of or make use of the artwork, utilizing to make their lives comforted. Example are architecture, furniture, weaving, and others. Next, non-motivated function of art or non-functional refers to artworks that are integral to being a human. It transcends the individual or does not fulfill a specific external purpose, but for internal use that somehow balances harmony as an aspect of being human beyond utility. Examples are painting, sculpture, literature, music, and theater arts.
Here are the 6 common functions we considered an art: physical, social, personal, spiritual, educational, and political. Physical function: to serve as tools and containers. These are objects which function to make physically comfortable. Examples are spoon, building, chair, vase, and etc. Social function: reinforcing and enhancing the sense of identity as family, community, society, or civilization awareness. Examples are festive occasions, parades, dances, or uniforms. Personal function: to express personal feelings. Perhaps the artist wanted to remind or share with the viewer's personal experience. Alternately, that could be a tragedy or memorable personal moments that could be appreciated and reminded to live each day as if it were the last. Spiritual function: to express spiritual beliefs about what they believed in or the destiny of life controlled by the force of higher power. Educational function: reinforcing educational value through symbols and signs to illustrate knowledge not given in words but for discovery. Political function: to reinforce and enhance a sense of identity and ideological connection to specific political views, issues, and opinions that people should be aware.
That's all, learners. We hope you learn new things today.
Kindly get your pen and self-learning materials in Arts 9. Activity 1. Message in a picture. Directions: reflects on and derive the mood, idea, or message shown in each pictures on your self-learning material. Activity 2. Functionality. Directions: identify the function of arts, either physical, social, personal, spiritual, educational, and political, and write a short explanation about its tradition or history observed in each artwork. Activity 3. Comparison. Directions: compare the artworks on your self-learning material according to its characteristics and write if it is a neoclassical or romantic period. Activity 4. Be inspired. Directions: paint or sketch an illustration showing the ideas of neoclassical or romantic painting. Observe the usage and application of the elements of arts.
For more questions or clarification, you may contact the number of your subject teacher printed below your SLM.
Nahuli ka ba sa ating episode ngayon? Worry no more, dahil mapapanood pa rin ang mga episodes sa aming YouTube channel, ang Astral Academy. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell para updated ka sa mga bagong aralin.
Good luck, learners! We know you can do it!
Expect for more MAPI lessons in the next episode. Always remember, believe in yourself.
And have faith in your abilities.
Ano-ano ang mga pagpapahalaga ang naisabuhay mo na at kailangan mo pang malinang? Ano-ano ang mga hakbang na iyong gagawin upang ito ay may sakatuparan?
Sa panahon ng pandemya, maraming mamamayang Pilipino ang nakaisip ng iba't ibang gawain at nagagawa ng mga produkto hindi lamang para magamit ng kanyang sariling pamilya, kundi para maibenta o maibahagi sa iba na maaaring makatulong din sa kapwa.
Ngunit, Masasabi ba nating may kalidad ang mga gawain o produktong ito?
Magandang araw, grade 9 learners! Sa araw na ito ay pagtuunan natin ng pansin ang tungkol sa kagalingan sa paggawa. Ayon kay Pope John Paul II, kanyang sinulat na Laborem Exercens. Ang paggawa ay mabuti sa tao dahil sa pamamagitan nito na isa sa katuparan niya ang kanyang tungkulin sa sarili, kapwa at sa Diyos. Ang kagustuhang may sa buhay ang mga layunin ito ang nagtutulak sa kanya upang magkaroon ng kagalingan sa paggawa. Hindi dahil sa lakas ng kanyang katawan, pagkakaroon ng propesyon o kursong natapos, ngunit dahil sa hangarin niyang makagawa ng kabutihan sa kanyang paggawa.
Ang kagalingan sa paggawa ay naisa sa buhay kung tataglayin mo ang mga sumusunod na katangian. Una, nagsasabuhay ng mga pagpapahalaga. Pangalawa, nagtataglay ng positibong kakayahan. Pangatlo, nagpupuri at nagpapasalamat sa Diyos.
Nagsasabuhay ng mga pagpapahalaga. Ang isang matagumpay na tao ay may mga pagpapahalagang humuhubog sa kanya upang harapin ang anumang pagsubok na pagdaraanan sa pagkamit ng mithiin.
Ang pagpapahalagang ito ang nagsisilbing gabay niya upang gumawa ng kakaibang produkto o serbisyo na may kalidad. Ang produktong kanyang lilikhain ay bunga ng kasipagan, tiyaga, magiging masigasig, pagkamalikhain at pagkakaroon ng disiplina sa sarili.
Kasipagan. Ito ay tumutukoy sa pagsisikap na gawin o tapusin ang isang gawain ng buong puso at may malinaw na layunin sa paggawa. Ang produkto o gawaing likha ng isang taong masipag ay bunga ng kahusayan at buong pagmamahal na ginagawa. Dahil dito, ang magiging resulta ng kaniyang pagsasagawa ng gawain ay maayos, kahanga-hanga at kapuri-puri. Tiyaga. Ito ay ang pagpapatuloy sa paggawa sa kabila ng mga hadlang sa kaniyang paligid. Isinasantabi ng taong may tiyaga ang mga kaisipang makahahadlang sa paggawa ng isang produkto o gawain tulad ng pagrereklamo, pagkukumpara ng gawain sa likha ng iba at pag-iisip ng mga dahilan upang hindi isagawa ang mga gawain. Ang likha ng taong may kagalingan sa paggawa ay bunga ng inspirasyon, turo at gabay na kaniyang nakukuha sa ibang tao. Masigasig. Ito ay ang pagkakaroon ng kasiyahan, pagkagusto at siglang nararamdaman sa paggawa ng gawain o produkto. Ang atensyon o oras niya ay nakatuon lamang sa produkto o gawain kaniyang lilikhain, malikhain. Ang produkto o gawaing lilikhain ay bunga ng mayamang pag-iisip at hindi ng panggagaya o pangungopya sa gawa ng iba. Dapat ay orihinal, bago at kakaiba ang produkto. Gayon din sa pagbibigay ng serbisyo o iba pang gawain. Hindi kailangang katulad ito ng iba o ng nakararami. Madaling nakikilala at natatanggap ang isang produkto o serbisyo kapag bago ito sa panlasa ng tao. Disiplina sa sarili. Ang taong may disiplina sa sarili ay alam ang hangganan ng kanyang ginagawa at mayroong paggalang sa ibang tao. Maaari niyang isantabi ang pansariling kaligayahan para sa kapakanan ng ibang tao. Ang kagalingan ng gawain o produkto ng taong may disiplina sa sarili ay para sa ikabubuti ng lahat.
Ang mga sumusunod na bunga ng pagsasabuhay ng mga pagpapahalaga ay ilan sa mga mahahalagang basihan sa kagalingan ng paggawa ng isang produkto o gawain. Ang kagalingan sa paggawa ay bunga ng pagmamahal at pagkagustong gawin ito ng buong husay at pagmamahal. Ang likha ng taong may kagalingan sa paggawa ay bunga ng inspirasyon, turo at gabay na kanyang makukuha sa ibang tao. Ang damdaming di nakararamdam ng pagod at pagkabagot sa anumang gawain ay resulta ng kagalingan sa paggawa. Magaling ang produkto o ang gawain kung ito ay bago sa tao. Ang kagalingan ng produkto at gawain ay sa ikabubuti ng lahat.
Ang pangalawang katangian na dapat taglayin sa kagalingan ng paggawa ay nagtataglay ng mga kakailanganing kasanayan. Bukod sa mga kasanayan sa basic literacy tulad ng pagbasa, pagsulat, pagkuwenta, pakikinig, pagsasalita. Mahalaga rin ang mga kasanayan sa pagkatuto na may tatlong yugto. Pagkatuto bago ang paggawa, pagkatuto habang gumagawa, at pagkatuto pagkatapos gawin ang isang gawain. Pagkatuto bago ang paggawa. Tumutukoy ito sa yugto ng paggawa ng plano na gabay sa pagbuo ng isang gawain o produkto. Halimbawa, naatasan ang pangkat mo sa klase sa ESP na gumawa ng proyektong tutugon sa mga pangangailangan ng mga bata na may edad na 5 hanggang 9 sa inyong barangay. Kailangang malinaw ang tunguhin at ang mga inaasahang kalalabasan ng proyekto. Ito ba ay upang buklurin sila sa paggawa ng mabuting gawain sa pamayanan. Halimbawa, ang proper hygiene, tamang asal o katisismo. Ang mga inaasahang kalalabasan ba ay ang pagbawas ng bilang ng kabataang gumagala sa kalye sa gabi? Kapag malinaw na ang tunguhin at mga inaasahang kalalabasan, magsagawa ng tanong-tanong sa ilang bata tungkol sa kanilang mga pangangailangan. Ang mga sagot nila ang batayan ng paggawa ng mas organisadong talatanungan bilang batayan ng gagawing proyekto na tutugon sa kanilang mga pangangailangan. Ikalawang yugto, ang pagkatuto habang ginagawa. Ito ang yugto ng pagkilala sa iba't ibang estratehiyang maaring gamitin upang mapadali ang pagsasakatuparan ng mga tunguhin sa pamamagitan ng pagtatala ng mga konkretong hakbang upang maisagawa ang proyektong napili at mga posibleng kahaharaping problema at solusyon sa mga ito. Halimbawa, pagkatapos makuha ang mga kinakailangang impormasyon sa proyekto sa ESP na inilahad sa unang bilang, magiging madali ang pagsasagawa ng plano dahil may batayan na sa susunod na hakbang na isasagawa. Makatutulong ang mga impormasyon na nakuha upang maiwasan ang anumang problema na maaring kaharapin at kung sakaling mayroon man, madali na ang paglalapat ng solusyon at napaghandaan na. Halimbawa, kung sinong tao o opisyal ang lalapitan para makatulong sa gagawing proyekto. Pangatlong yugto, pagkatuto pagkatapos gawin ang isang gawain. Ito ang yugto ng pagtataya sa naging resulta o kinalabasan ng gawain. Sa puntong ito, malalaman mo ang mga kilos at pasya na dapat panatilihin at baguhin. Halimbawa, magkaroon ng evaluasyon sa isinagawang proyekto. Ang resulta ng programang isinagawa ang naging epekto nito sa pamayanan, gaano naging kapaki-pakinabang ang gawain, at kung naisakatuparan ang tunguhin ng proyekto. Kung sakali ang resulta ng gawain ay hindi kaaya-aya, gagamiting basihan ito sa pagpaplano at pagpapaunlad ng susunod na gawain. Ang mga yugto o hakbang na ito ay magsisilbing susi sa pagtupad ng iyong layuning makagawa ng isang mahusay na produkto o serbisyo.
At ang kagalingan sa paggawa ay nasusukat ayon sa maayos na pagsasakatuparan ng mga hakbang na dapat isalang-alang sa paggawa.
Sa pamamahala sa oras ay tumutukoy sa kakayahan sa epektibong paggamit nito sa paggawa. Sa pamamagitan nito, tataas ang produktibidad pagka mabisa sa kagalingan mo sa paggawa at makapaglaan ka pa ng oras sa pamamahinga, paglilibang at pagkakawang gawa.
Ang pinakamahalaga sa lahat ng pagpapahalaga upang masabi na ang paggawa ay kakaiba, may kalidad, at kagalingan ay kung ito ay naaayon sa kalooban ng Diyos at iniaalay bilang paraan ng papuri at pasasalamat sa Kanya. Ang paggawa ng mabuti at may kahusayan ay may balik na pagpapala sa Diyos.
Ikaw, paano mo na ipamamalas ang mga kasanayan at katangiang nabanggit sa iyong paggawa upang malinang sa iyo ang kagalingan? Ngayon ay ating sukatin sa pamamagitan ng pagsagot sa iyong gawain sa araw na ito. Sabayan niyo ako sa pagbasa sa panuto. Sumulat ka ng mga maaari mong gawin sa panahon ng pandemya upang maisabuhay ang pagpapahalaga sa paggawa na taglay mo na at kailangan mo pang malinaw. At sa ikalawang gawain, gawin ang mga sumusunod, maaring palitan ang nasa halimbawa. Ngayong panahon ng pandemya, mag-isip ng napapanahong gawain o produkto na maaari mong likhain gamit ang tatlong yugto sa kasanayan sa pagkatuto. Sundin ang mga yugto o hakbang tungo sa kalidad o kagalingan sa paggawa. Uhayan, grade 9 learners, simulan na ang pagsagot. Huwag kaligtang isulat ang iyong pangalan. Hanggang sa susunod na tagpo, learners!
Hello, grade 10 learners.
Welcome to our new episode in TV-based instruction of Ang Tangku.
Where we bring you the lessons direct to your homes.
Kaya learners,
Set back and relax dahil inyong matutunghayan ang isang bagong aralin.
last episode, we discussed about media-based art. In today's episode, you will be going to create artworks that can be assembled with local materials, explain print media, digital media, and innovation in products and industrial design in the Philippines, applies different media techniques and processes to communicate ideas, experience, and stories, and evaluate works of art in terms of artistic concepts and ideas using criteria appropriate for the style or form of design.
Print media. Alongside the digital media forms, there remains the more conventional form known as print media. Included here are large-scale publications such as newspapers, magazines, journals, books of all kinds, as well as smaller-scale posters, brochures, flyers, menus, and the like. Of course, all of these now have their digital counterparts that may be accessed and read on the internet. However, there continues to be a demand and a purpose for the actual printed forms of these materials. And whether printed on paper or viewed on the web, these materials once again involved and showcase Filipino artistry. Advertising. Along with the advertising copywriters who provide the text for titles, taglines, and body copy, an entire team of modern-day art professionals create the look of each ad. These range from art directors to photographers to graphic designers to illustrators. If the ad subject requires it, the team may further include food and product stylist, fashion stylist, hair and makeup artist, set and lighting designers, all for the purpose of creating an advertisement that will appear on a printed page or in a format that will be handed out to potential customers. Comic books. Another field of print media that highlights the artistic gifts of Filipinos is that of comic books, or comics as they are referred to locally. The popularity of Philippine comics began in the 1920s when Liwayway magazine started featuring comic strips such as Mga Kabalbala ni King Koy, created by Tony Velasquez. Velasquez went on to be recognized as the father of Filipino comics. With the coming of the Americans to the country, local comics were clearly influenced by popular US comics, with superheroes as the main characters, resulting in local counterparts such as Darna and Captain Barbell. Even decades before, however, comics creators had already introduced characters, themes, and storylines from Philippine folklore, mythology, and history. With books and libraries not yet readily accessible to a majority of the Filipino public, comics became a major form of reading materials around the country, avidly read and shared by young and old alike. Filipino comics artists also became recognized for their talents both locally and overseas. Thus, from the 1960s to the 1980s, Filipino artists were recruited to work for foreign comics publishers, among them the highly popular DC Comics. A more recent development in the Philippine comic scenes has been the rise of comic series reflecting or commenting on current political and social issues or on the Filipino character in a humorous way. One such series is the long-running Pugad Baboy created by Paul Medina Jr. With the phenomenal rise of digital media in recent decades, however, the local comics industry seemed to take a backseat. But there is a current resurgence of interest not only among comics readers and collectors, but among Filipino artists and illustrators creating original concepts and experimenting with exciting new styles. There is now an entire range of subjects, characters, formats, and artistic treatments to life. The following are just a sampling of the possibilities.
Digital media. Digital media are any media that are encoded in machine-readable formats. Digital media can be created, viewed, distributed, modified, and preserved on digital electronics devices. Digital can be defined as any data represented with a series of digits, and media refers to a method of broadcasting or communicating information together. Digital media refers to any information that is broadcast to us through a screen. This includes text, audio, video, and graphics that is transmitted over the internet for viewing on the internet. Another extremely rich and promising area for young Filipino artists is the field of book design and illustration. Thanks to the visionary mindsets of progressive Philippine book publishers such as Bookmark, Anvil Publishing, Adarna Books, and Tahanan Books for young readers. Local book designers and illustrators have been given the professional stature they deserve and the creative freedom to truly showcase their talents. Ang Tuta ni Noe by Virgilio S. Almario, illustrated by Sergio Bumantay III. How Long Till September by Tanya Sevilla Simon, illustrated by Chel Arwen Posadas. Whoosh by Glenda Ores, illustrated by Aldi Aguirre. Mahabang Mahabang Mahaba by Gennaro Gojo Cruz, illustrated by Gani Madueno. But That Won't Wake Me Up by Annie Denise Lumbao and Anelka Lumbao, illustrated by Lisa Flores, published by Adarna Books. A Sea of Stories by Carla M. Pakis, illustrated by Rubin D. Sos and published by Bookmark. Why the Piña Has 100 Eyes by Nene Santa Romana Cruz, illustrated by Felix Mago Miguel, published by Bookmark. Gotita di Dragon and Other Stories by Nick Joaquin, illustrated by Beth Paracho and published by Anvil Publishing. Ning Ning by Gelda Cordero Fernando, published by Bookmark. All the artistic skills and techniques that go into producing books like those just presented, of course, have their counterpart in every growing world of digital media. This means that books that were originally available only in print are being gradually converted to digital format, while new books are now conceptualized, written, designed, and illustrated precisely for these online media. This also means that the manner by which today's readers can find, access, and enjoy these electronic books, or e-books, is via digital media tablets, e-book readers, and other handheld reading devices. One such device that is available locally is the e-book reader called Kubu, which features international as well as Philippine titles.
Innovation in product and industrial design. The breakthrough arena of Filipino imagination, ingenuity, and innovativeness in recent decades has been that of design. Specifically, this encompasses product and industrial design as applied to furniture, lighting, and interior accessories, as well as fashion from haute couture to bridal ensembles to casual wear. As a result, a number of Filipino designers have risen to superstardom both locally and internationally. Kenneth Cobonpue. Cebu-based Kenneth Cobonpue is a multi-awarded designer and the creative director of Hive, a design and manufacturing facility for designers of interior accessories and lighting. Cobonpue's fresh and exciting concepts and excellent craftsmanship have earned him the acclaimed and the patronage of discerning clientele the world over, including prominent Hollywood celebrities. Monique Louvillier. Also hailing from Cebu City, Filipino fashion designer Monique Louvillier first rose to prominence for her exquisite wedding gowns. But she has since become one of the darlings of the Hollywood celebrity set, with several A-list stars having worn her couture creations to gala events and award shows, as well as to their own weddings. Josie Natori. Another name that has a prestigious place in the New York fashion industry is that of Josie Natori. Born Josefina Almeida Cruz in Manila, this Filipino-American fashion designer began her career as an investment banker before she made the dramatic shift to creating her own lines of lingerie, resort and loungewear, as well as semi-formal and casual attire. She went on to establish the Natori Company that has built up a lifestyle brand that today includes 4 lingerie lines, the Juicy Natori ready-to-wear collection, home accessories, fragrance, and eyewear. Raho Laurel. Probably best known to the general public as a judge on the television series Project Runway Philippines. Raho Laurel is a much-admired Filipino fashion designer with a number of national and international awards to his name. He trained at New York's Fashion Institute of Technology and at Central St. Martin's in London. Laurel is also a savvy entrepreneur, establishing House of Laurel and Raho Laurel Enterprise. His creations maintain a Filipino sensibility, incorporating embroidery, beadwork, and hand-painted prints, while also offering the prestige of limited edition pieces. Thus, he has gained a loyal local followers and the attention of the international market. Lulu Tan Gan. Known for her fashionable nightwear lines since 1985, Lulu Tan Gan has been dubbed the Queen of Nightwear in the country. That specialty has since evolved into a new hand-woven line called Indigenous Couture that blends Filipino artisan crafts, fabrics, fibers, and other local materials with Tan Gan's signature contemporary lifestyle dressing. The designer's vision is to encourage the use of stylized, indigenous, and traditional wear, as she draws inspiration from the rich textile and embroidery traditions of the Philippines and interprets these in modern style and silhouette. Dita Sandico Ong, another Philippine designer who has been advocating the use of local weaving techniques and natural fibers, is Dita Sandico Ong. Known as the wrap artist of the Philippines, for her famous bold color wraps, Sandico Ong first experimented with the local weaves of Ilocos Sur known as Inabel, as well as the pineapple fibers blended with Irish linen dubbed Piñalino.
That's all, learners. We hope you learn new things today.
Kindly get your pen and self-learning materials in Arts 10. Activity 1. Think. Directions. Read the conversation of the comic sample given. Identify the message of the story and write it in the box provided on your self-learning material. Activity 2. Investigate. Directions. Identify how digital media work in this art. Write a short insight about your observation. Activity 3. Make it. Directions. Answer and explain your answers. Activity 4. Do it. Directions. Imagine yourself as a designer. With the use of local and readily available materials, create a very innovative and imaginative ways on your own masterpiece.
For more questions or clarification, you may contact the number of your subject teacher printed below your SOM.
Nahuli ka ba sa ating episode ngayon? Worry no more, dahil mapapanood pa rin ang mga episodes sa aming YouTube channel, ang Astral Academy. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell para updated ka sa mga bagong aralin.
Good luck, learners! We know you can do it!
Expect for more MAPI lessons in the next episode. Always remember, believe in yourself.
And have faith in your abilities.
Alam mo ba ang ikalimang utos ng Panginoon?
Ang bawat kilos ay may kaakibat na resulta. Kung ang kilos ay mabuti at tama, ito ay nagdudulot rin ng mabuting kahihinatnan.
Kung ang kilos naman ay di mabuti, ito rin ay may mga di magandang kaaya-ayang resulta.
Magandang araw, Grade 10 learners! Sa sinundang aralin ay natalakay natin ang tungkol sa mga angkop na kilos upang mapaunlad ang pagmamahal sa Diyos.
Sa araw na ito ay alamin at suriin natin ang mga paglabag sa paggalang sa buhay.
Kaya, pag-usapan natin ngayon ang mga isyu sa paglabag ng paggalang sa buhay. Una, ang paggamit ng ipinagbabawal na gamot. Ang mga krimeng nagaganap sa ating lipunan ay may malaking kaugnayan sa paggamit ng droga. Dahil sa droga, ang isip ng tao ay nagiging blank spot. Nahihirapan ang isip ng tao na iproseso ang iba't ibang impormasyon na dumadaloy nito na karaniwang sanhi ng maling pagpapasya at pagkilos. Ang pagkagumo nito ay nagdudulot ng masasamang epekto sa pisikal at isip ng taong gumagamit nito. Maaari itong maghatid sa tao sa maling landas at posibleng pagkamatay. Pangalawa, ang isyong alkoholismo. Ang labis na pag-inom ng alak ay may malaking epekto sa pag-iisip. Sumisira sa pagiging malikhain, kawalan ng pokus, nagpapahina ng enerhiya, at nabawasan ang kakayahan sa paglinang sa makabuluhang pakikipagkapwa. Apektado rin ang kalusugan ng tao. Ito rin ay pinagmulan ng maraming sakit na maaaring magresulta ng pagkamatay. Ang abortion. Ito ay ang pagpapalaglag sa isang buhay na nasa sinapupunan pa lamang ng ina o kaya'y ang hindi pa napapanahon na paglabas nito. Ang pagpigil at pakikialam sa ganitong uri ng proseso ay hindi makatarungang panghimasok sa karapatan ng isang bata na mabuhay. Pagpapatiwakal. Ito ay sadyang pagkitil ng buhay at naaayon sa sariling kagustuhan. Ang pagkitil sa sariling buhay o pagpapakamatay ay isang kasalanan sa Diyos. Siya lamang ang tanging nagmamay-ari ng buhay at kamatayan. Euthanasia. Ito ay ang paggamit ng modernong medisina at kagamitan upang tapusin ang paghihirap ng isang may sakit. Tinatawag ding mercy killing o painless death. Kadalasan, hinihingi ito ng isang taong may matinding karamdaman upang mapadali ang paghihirap. Papadali ng pagputol ng buhay ay isang uri din ng pagpapatiwakal.
Sabi ni Papa Francis ng Roma, ang buhay ng tao ay napakahalaga. Kahit na ang mga pinakamahihina, madaling matukso, mga may sakit, matanda, mga hindi pa isinilang, at mahihirap, ay mga ora ng Diyos na ginawa sa sarili niyang imahe. Laan upang mabuhay magpakailanman at karapat-dapat na mataas ang paggalang at respeto.
Ang buhay ay pinagkaloob sa atin ng Diyos upang gamitin natin sa mabuting paraan. Ito ay banal. Itinuturing na maling gawain ang hindi paggalang sa kabanalan ng buhay dahil ito ay indikasyon ng kawalan ng pasasalamat at pagkilala sa kapangyarihan ng Diyos.
Ngayong nabatid mo na ang kahalagahan ng buhay,
at ang mga isyo sa paglabag nito. Handa ang iyong activity sheet sa ASP at sagutin ang mga hinihingi sa gawain. Sabayan niyo ako sa pagbasa sa panuto. Panuto, tukuyin ang mga paglabag ng paggalang sa buhay. Piliin ang wastong sagot na nasa loob ng kahon.
Uhayan! Oras na sa pagsagot, grade 10 learners. Good luck!
Huwag kaligtang isulat ang pangalan sa iyong activity sheet bago sisimulan ang pagsagot.
Ito po muli ang iyong lingkod na si Teacher Jam.
At Teacher 10,
Subaybayan ninyo ang mga sumusunod na mga aralin.
hanggang sa susunod na tagpo, learners! We hope that you have learned the most essential lessons you need to master. See you on our next episodes. This has been
We share.
Ang Tangkub.
It's tangkub, tangkub, tangkub time. We learn all things, it's very fun, masaya. Tangkub na.
Hello and good afternoon to our junior high school learners. Welcome to our program, ang Astral Academy Cyber School. We are live via DepEd Tayo Tanggap Facebook page.
An Astral Academy Facebook page.
An Astral Academy YouTube channel.
I am Teacher Louie.
And I'm Teacher Brian, ang iyong teacher partner sa MAPE.
And I am Teacher Jam, ang iyong makakasama sa asignaturang edukasyon sa pagpapakatao.
We are here again sa inyong paboritong online class araw-araw, ang Astral Academy Cyber School. Thanks God, it's Friday naman, Sir Brian and Ma'am Jam. Sadly, hindi tayo nakapag-live last week, no? Dahil sa pagdaraos ng Charter Anniversary sa ating lungsod. And of course, welcome back, Ma'am Jam. Sige no, Sir Brian, no? Kay dugay-dugay, dyan itong wala nakauban si Ma'am Jam.
Yes, you are right, Sir Luigi. And I believe that our learners in our division are eager to learn more dahil sa ilang subaybay permi sa atong Facebook Live facilitation.
So our subject, not to be discussed later on, are MAPI and ASP. So junior high school learners, get yourself learning material and stay tuned. We will be right back after this short break. This is
Astral Academy Cyber School.
And we are back, still here
In Astral Academy Cyber School. Okay, first atong i-discuss Sir Brian and Ma'am Jam, we have Grade 7 Arts. Okay, so hello Grade 7 learners! Get yourself learning materials because in this episode or this week, you're going to analyze elements and principles of art in the production of one's arts and crafts inspired by the art of Mindanao. Identify characteristics of arts and crafts in specific areas in Mindanao and reflect on and derive the mood, idea, or message emanating from the selected artifacts and art objects.
Okay, so before we start to our new lesson, Ma'am Jamaica and Sir Luigi, what are the elements of art?
Okay, so the elements of art, Sir Brian, are line, shape, color, value. It refers to the relative lightness and darkness and is perceived in terms of varying levels of contrast. We have texture. It refers to the tactile qualities of a surface, either a visual representation of such surface qualities. And of course, the space. It refers to the area in which art is organized.
So that are the elements of the art. So how about the principle of art, Sir Luigi?
Okay, the principle of arts, Ma'am Jam, are pattern. Okay, refers to the repetition or reoccurrence of a design element, exact or varied, which establish a visual beat. Okay, rhythm or movement. It refers to the suggestion of motion through the use of various elements. Katong you mentioned ganina. Okay, next we have proportion, the size relationship of parts to a whole and to one another, while scale refers to relating size to a constant, such as a human body. And of course, the balance, the impression of equilibrium in a pictorial or sculptural composition. It is often referred to as symmetrical, asymmetrical, or radial. We have unity. Unity is achieved when the components of a work of art are perceived as harmonious, giving the work a sense of completion. And of course, the last one we have emphasis. Refers to the created center of interest, the place in an artwork where eyes first land. So, okay, those are the principles of art.
And how are we going to analyze that art elements and principles, Sir
Okay,
Louis?
since that is our learning competency this week, Ma'am Jamaica, to analyze the elements and principles of art, here are the things you want to do. Okay, you have to observe. Okay, what art elements and principles do you recognize in an artwork when it comes to first is line. Okay, as makita ba nyo dila sa line is strong lines ba siya? We have patterns, thin lines, and of course, directional, either horizontal, vertical, or diagonal. Next thing, we have shape. Okay, shape na to is we have perspective and na ba siya? Form. And the last one, nga ilang i-recognize, Ma'am Jam, is the color and value of an artwork. Either warm color ba, cool color ba, or monochromatic colors iyang gigamit, light, dark, bright, dull, and of course, transparent. So, those are the three elements nga ilang i-recognize sa katong mga art elements nga, ay art examples nga atong ihatag later.
Yes, so ning atuon siya pag-analyze, which is our first competency. Now, this time, Sir Luigi, we will proceed to the second competency, which is how to identify. Now, this time, Sir Luigi, how to identify, by the way, the characteristics of an artwork.
Okay, Sir Brian, thank you. Okay, to identify the characteristic of an artwork, Sir Brian, you have to consider these aspects. So, maghatag-tag tulo ka buok ina i-consider. Okay, the design of an artwork or craft, yung design. Next, the materials used. And of course, how the artwork or craft was made. Okay.
Okay, so that's it. That is how are we going to identify the characteristic of an artwork. And now, how about the mood of an artwork, Sir Louis?
Okay, Ma'am Jam. There are two different moods of art, Ma'am Jam. We have positive mood and the negative mood. Okay, for positive mood, we have calm, content, peaceful, relaxed, energetic, exciting, stimulating, thought-provoking, cheerful, happy, joyful, and romantic. For negative mood, depressed, gloomy, miserable, sad, tearful, and happy, aggressive, angry, chill, dark, distressed, frightening, violent, boring, dull, lifeless, or tasteless. Okay, kani siya nga mga mood, Ma'am Jam and Sir Brian. Gina-discuss po na to siya in the previous quarter. Balik-balik naman good nga ato ang competency. Okay, let us try to analyze the elements and principles of art from the given example nga makita dira sa inyong screen. That is the traditional clothing of the bilaan. Okay, unsa gani atong bantayan, Sir Brian, in analyzing the art elements and principle?
Okay, so sa ato ang mga learners, to analyze the art elements, ang ilag yung bantayan are the three when it comes to the line. Ang strong ba ang line na ginagamit, ang pattern niya, ug unsa siya kabag-a ba nga gigamit or gi-apply siya ana nga artwork. Next, ang shape, unsa nga mga shapes ang ginagamit, ang perspective ug ang mga form. And then ang ikatulo, ang color and the value applied in that particular artwork.
Okay, so this time na makita dira sa screen, we have line. Okay, first natong i-recognize, Sir Brian, the line. Okay, there are strong lines to emphasize the detail of the design, and of course, there are lots of directional lines. Diba? Makita na to dira sa screen. Okay, we have horizontal line, we have diagonal lines, and of course, the vertical lines to emphasize the pattern or the design of the textile. Okay, dira yes. Bawaan nga kana di siya nga textile is for bilaan,
so,
right?
Makita ang iyang uniqueness because of the line.
Yes, you're right, Sir Brian. Next, we have shape na pod. Okay, with the combination of lines and patterns, the design created a triangular shape. So makita dira sa screen no nga daghan kay mga triangle sa textile. And the last one nga ato ang i-recognize, we have the color. Okay, according to the information given in the video and of course in your self-learning materials, the textiles usually contain three colors. We have shades of black or brown, red or darker shades of orange, and of course the last one we have urco or the color of undyed abaka.
Yes.
Okay, so mostly sa mga color nga gigamit dira, Sir Brian, is dark colors. Diba? Okay. Okay, let us try na po to identify the characteristics of the given artworks. Ma'am Jam, can you tell us what are the things we need to observe in identifying the characteristics of an artwork?
Okay, to identify the characteristic of an artwork, Sir Louis, you have to consider these aspects. First is the design of an artwork or crafts. The second, the material used and how the artwork craft was made.
Okay, that's right. Okay, first we have design of artwork. Okay, the sequin-like copy shells called takmun are used to give a distinct design or color to the cloths. Among the women, the intricate beaded wooden comb and swat sand sala is a must.
Yes.
Okay, Sir Brian, what are the materials used in that textile?
Okay, in that textile, they used the abaka and decorated in embroidered details. So, mo na ilang mga materials nga gigamit ana nga textile.
Okay, Okay, how the artwork was made. Okay, ang ikat di ay is a process of dyeing fabric and from Bilaan, Bagubos, and Tibuli tribe, where the yarns are tightly wrapped with string and dyed before weaving. Okay, let us try to reflect the mood for the given example, the sari manok. Okay, makita dira sa inyong screen. Based on the picture, can you give us the mood of the given example, Sir Brian?
Okay, so makita silang screen, no? Then naapot sa SLM, Sir Luigi. So the example given is full of energy because the sari manok is a legendary bird of the Maranao. So it comes from the word sari, which means cloth, and the manok, which means chicken. It is a symbol of a good fortune.
Okay, exactly. So, that's it, Sir Brian, no, for our Mambes. So, I hope sa itong mga learners nga namina dira, so makabalo or guided na good sila in answering their self-learning material. Okay, this time, Sir Brian, let's talk about ESP 7 and our learning competencies, Ma'am Jam R.
Okay, so for today, for grade 7 in ESP, our competency na papatunayang ang piniling uri ng pagpapahalaga batay sa hierarkiya ng mga pagpapahalaga ay gabay sa makatotohanang pag-unlad ng ating pagkatao at naisasagawa ang paglalapat ng mga tiyak na hakbang upang mapataas ang antas ng kanyang mga pagpapahalaga.
Okay, so paano ba malalaman kung tama ang iyong piniling uri ng pagpapahalaga?
At saka, Ma'am Jam, bakit mo kailangang piliin ang mas mataas na antas ng pagpapahalaga? At pangalawa, ano ang maganda na maaari nitong maidulot para sa iyo? At pangatlo, ang mga pinahahalagahan mo ba ngayon ay makakaapekto sa kung ano ang maaring maging kinabukasan mo?
Okay, masasagot natin iyan ang mga tanong sa hapong ito. Kaya pag-usapan natin sa araw na ito ang tungkol sa pagpapahalaga na gabay tungo sa pagunlad ng ating pagkatao. Okay, so matanong kita, Sir Brian, Sir Louie, ano-ano ba ang mga mahalaga para sa inyo?
Okay, so para sa akin, Ma'am Jam, una talaga ang pagkain. And then, bahay. And then, meron din mga tao, yung mga magulang natin at mga kaibigan.
Okay, how about you, Sir Louie?
Okay, so Ma'am Jam, no, para sa akin, maaari nitong material o di material na bagay na para sa sarili mong pananaw ay mahalaga. Tulad na lamang ng pagpapahalaga ng damdamin. Na-chika na to ganina, Sir Brian. Okay, yung pagpapahalaga ng aking trabaho at pagpapahalaga sa kapaligiran.
Okay, tama kayo, Sir Brian, Sir Louie. Bagamat magkakaiba ang antas ng pagpapahalaga ng tao, mahalagang hamon sa atin, lalo na sa iyo, ang pagsasabuhay na mas mataas na antas ng pagpapahalaga sa isang sitwasyon.
Okay. Matatandaan natin na ang hierarkiya ng pagpapahalaga ay ang sumusunod. Okay, pandamdam na pagpapahalaga or sensory values. Pangalawa, pambuhay na pagpapahalaga or vital values. Ang pangatlo, spiritual na pagpapahalaga or spiritual values. At ang pang-apat, ang banal na pagpapahalaga or the holy values.
Okay, so ngayon, magbigay tayo ng mga sitwasyon na magpapatunay ng ating pinahalagahan at maging gabay natin sa makatotohanang pag-unlad ng ating pagkatao. Okay, so ang pagkakaroon ng magandang kaugnayan sa pamilya at pagiging magalang. So, mauna ang una. Okay, pangalawa, Ma'am Jam?
Okay, ang pangalawa ay ang paggastos ng pera upang impambili ng laptop para sa iyong pag-aaral ay may mas mataas kaysa sa may mataas na pagpapahalaga kaysa sa ipambili mo ng sapatos. Kasi mas binili mong bumili ng laptop kaysa sa sapatos. Kasi nakikita natin na mas mataas ang halaga nito kasi mas tumatagal ang laptop kaysa sa sapatos. At nagagamit natin ito sa marami tayong kaalaman na makukuha dito. Okay. So, kasi pag tumatagal ang pagpapahalaga, kung ihambing ito sa mababang pagpapahalaga o mayroon kasi itong 5 katangian na makikita ninyo sa inyong SLM at dito, ang halimbawa na ito ay ang timeliness or ability to endure. Ito ay isa sa 5 katangian ng pagpapahalaga.
Okay, at iyon ang mga patunay na ang pinipiling uri ng pagpapahalaga batay sa hierarkiya ng mga pagpapahalaga ay gabay sa mga katotohang pag-unlad ng ating pagkatao.
Okay. Ngayon naman, magbigay tayo ng tiyak na hakbang upang mapataas ang sariling pagpapahalaga at magbubunga ito ng kabutihan hindi lamang para sa sarili kundi pati na rin sa ibang tao. So, narito ang halimbawa, 2 lamang ang hakbang na ating ibibigay kasi ito yung pangalawang competency sa ating SLM. So, una, kung gagawa ka ng isang aksyon, suriing mabuti kung tama at sa ikabubuti ng nakararami ang pipiliin.
Okay, so ang pangalawa, ang dapat na maging intensyon mo ay pagpili na may mabuting epekto sa iyo at sa lahat.
Okay, now, I know you can answer your self-learning materials well, mga learners. Kaya ang inyong gawin, ang mga gawain, mababasa natin ang mga panuto at mga gabay rin na halimbawa sa inyong self-learning materials.
Okay, sa makatuwid, ang mas mataas na antas ng pagpapahalaga ay nakatutulong sa iyo upang maging mas mabuting tao. Magagawa mong mapataas ang antas ng iyong pagpapahalaga kapag naisapuso at naisabuhay mo ang kahalagahan ng mas mataas na antas ng pagpapahalaga.
Okay, so more discussions after a short break. This is Astral Academy Cyber School.
we're back, still here
in Astral Academy Cyber School. Okay, so this time, Sir Brian, we're going to talk about Arts 8 and ESP 8. So our learning competency in Arts 8, we have
analyze elements and principles of arts and production of arts and crafts inspired by the cultures of South Asia. Identify characteristic of arts and crafts in specific countries in South Asia. And reflect on and derive the mood, idea, or message from selected artifacts and art objects. Okay, so kailangan yun nila. So they really need to know and master these competencies because these are the prerequisite for the next next week ng mga competencies.
Exactly, Sir
So
Brian.
because they were going to make an artwork.
Okay. Okay, so we already done reviewing the elements and principles of arts. First, the elements, we have line, shape, color and value, and textures or space. And for principles, Namjam and Sir Brian, we have pattern, rhythm or movement, proportion, balance, unity, and emphasis.
So now, can you teach us how to analyze elements and principle of art in the production of arts and crafts, Sir Brian?
Okay, so sa our learners, to analyze the elements and principles of arts, here are the things that they need to do. So what are the elements and principles do you recognize or makita nila in an artwork when it comes to, same ganyan sa grade 7, the line, the shape, and the color? Because these are the basic nga elements and principles nga kailangan to analyze an artwork. Now, to analyze the elements and principles of art in the production of arts in craft inspired by the culture of South Asia. Now, we have an example. No, makita po ni sa ilahang SLM. Now, for the example, na-picture dira. So, ang ngalan na ng art is the Rangoli art. This is traditional Rangoli, is an art of decoration drawn on the floor or the entrances of homes. Ang purpose ani sa taga-India is to bring good luck, prosperity on the house and in the family and to welcome the guest. Okay, now Ma'am Jam and Sir Luigi, we will start with Ma'am Jam. Based on the picture, Ma'am Jam, what are the art elements ang gi-applied?
Okay, so there is a color. So the color is red, yellow, green, white. And the line, there is a curved line, thick line, and a circle.
Okay, so is there a principle of art used in that particular artwork?
Yes,
Luigi?
Sir Brian, because mostly this quarter, Sir Brian, is ang naadri ma-emphasize yun nga principle of art, we have the pattern.
Yes.
Either dito sa Philippines or in Asian country. So mostly, ang katang mga artworks yun na to is, naging siya yung mga pattern, kay nana siya yung meaning in each country.
Yes.
Okay, there is a pattern. Kanang white nga makita dira sa kanang rangoli. And of course, kanang orange.
Yes, at the center.
Okay, balance. Kanang murag flower or heart. Okay,
Yes.
there are movement. Okay, makita
Napay
dira nga
movement.
murag siya og naglihok kay
Kanang
use
sa-
of lines,
Yes.
not curve lines. Exactly. Okay.
Yes, so ni atuon pag analyze sa elements and arts and principles of arts. Okay, now let's proceed to the second competency, which is identify the characteristics of arts and crafts in specific countries in South Asia.
So, Sir Louis, how to identify the characteristic of an artwork?
As you've said lately, Ma'am Jam, no, nga, to identify the characteristics of an artwork, you have to consider these three aspects. The design of an artwork or craft, the materials used, and how the artwork or craft was made.
Yes, so ni anaon jud no ibutang gina sa una-una permis sa to ang bata kay naa totoo every quarter ba gina siya Sir Luigi no nga kuan nga mo identify sila sa characteristics. Now, let's have an example. Same artwork ganiya Rangoli from India. Now, let us try to identify the characteristics on the given artwork which nga makita Japon sa ilang SLM. Sir Luigi, can you tell us the things we need to observe in identifying the characteristic of an artwork?
Okay, to identify the characteristics of an artwork, you have to consider again that these three aspects. We have design of an artwork, the materials, and of course, how the artwork was made.
Okay, so based on the example, Ma'am Jam, can you identify the characteristic of this artwork in terms of design of the artwork?
Okay, so the design of an artwork is simple or geometric shape, floral shapes, and very elaborated design. And in terms of color, it was very colorful.
Okay. Sir Luigi, can you identify the characteristic of this artwork in terms of the material used?
Okay, the making of colorful patterns on the floor uses a mixture of materials such as sand, column powder, flower petals, rice flour, lentils, and of course, beans.
Yes, so gimix na siya no kay i-paint man gud siya dito sa salog. So mostly mga pintal ang ginagamit. Now, can you identify the characteristic of this artwork based on how the artwork was made, Ma'am Jam?
Okay, so we can draw or sketch the initial outline of the rangoli using kolam powder. Then after they color it, and motifs are usually taken from nature.
Yes. So, unahon yun nila gamit ang column powder. So, muna ilang i-trace para sa design. Now, this time, we will proceed to the last competency, which is to reflect on and derive the mood, idea, or message from the selected artifacts and art objects.
Yes, Sir Luigi, how can they reflect the mood of the given artwork?
Okay, there are two, again, different moods. Ma'am Jam, we have the positive mood and the negative mood.
As we have mentioned earlier.
Yes. Now, while the idea is from where the artist gets his or her inspiration, either sa song ba, film, or the story. So, katugan niya ka, Sir Luigi, is mood. Kani is ang idea sa artist. Pwede niya makuha sa song, sa film, or stories. Ang message, it is a statement of the artist is trying to make. So, for example, mag-draw siya, ginan siya happy, so muna iyang gusto nga ihatag or i-message sa iyang artwork. Now, let's have an example and let's reflect what is the mood, the idea, or the message being applied on this artwork.
Okay, the idea of track art is a folk art which represent the dreams, inspirations, hobbies, and imagination of the Pakistanis and the painter.
Okay, the mood of the Pakistani track is happiness because it unlocked the deeper significance of metaphors that are accepted by people in dissimilar ways.
Yes, so ni atuon rapag answer sa ato ang learners no ang ilahang pag-identify ay pagkuan sa mood, the message and the idea of that specific artifact.
Okay, so this time, Sir Brian, let's proceed to ESP 8.
So our competency for ESP 8 na isasagawa ang mga angkop na kilos at pasasalamat. Ngunit, bago natin palalimin yan, natutunan nyo na ba ang, or mayroon na ba kayong napapasalamatan, sir? No?
Yes, ma'am.
Of course. So,
Yes. Yes.
Sir Luigi.
paano ba tayo magpapasalamat? Ano ba ang kilos na ating gagawin kung tayo ay magpapasalamat?
Okay, there are lots of
Ways.
ways no
Na ipakita na to.
ipakita na to ang
Either in
pagpasalamat.
action or in words.
Okay, ang pasasalamat ay halaw sa salitang or sa mga salitang pasa at salamat. Ibig sabihin ay mga bagay na naisasagawa dahil nais mong ipasa ang maganda at maayos na pakikitungo na ipinadama sa iyong kapwa.
Okay, ngayon Ma'am Jam and Sir Luigi, may tanong ako. Okay, mayroon ba kayong kilalang tao na nagpakita ng kabutihan sa kanilang kapwa ngayong panahon ng pandemya? Nagagawa ba ninyo ang pagpapasalamat sa inyong kapwa?
Yes, Sir Brian. Last time,
Yes?
last time is during the pandemic na ami katong friend ako uncle nga naghatag siya og kaning goods. No money din amor pang gipat og goods para ihatag sa mga silingan during the pandemic. Yes, nakoy video ato na sa YouTube. Okay. Kung hindi pa ninyo ito nagagawa, narito ang ilang practical na paraan upang maipakita ang pasasalamat sa kapwa at pagkakawang gawa. Okay. First is simulan ang araw ng magpasalamat sa Diyos at tanggapin ang pag-ibig niya. Kaya magpapakita ng pagmamahal sa iba ay dahil sa naranasan mo sa iyong buhay ang pagmamahal ng Diyos.
So, ikalawang practical na paraan ng pagpapasalamat ay maaring manalangin na gamitin ka ng Diyos para abutin ang iba. So, maging bukas sa paggabay ng Diyos upang dalhin ka sa isang taong may pangangailangan. Manalangin ng karunungan upang malaman kung paano makatutulong kahit sa simpleng paraan. So, may mga sitwasyon kasi na nagagamit natin ang ating mga talento. Yes. Diba? So, that is our other way in doing no ihatag nato og balik kung unsa nga to ang given nga gift tungo sa Ginoo nga gihatag sa ato.
Next, ang pangatlo na praktikal na paraan, laging isipin na may paraan kang magagawa upang tumulong sa iyong kapwa. Kana no bisan pag gamay nga butang makatabang ka sa imong isig ka tawo. So tanan dili man kailangan nga naa nimo tanan para ka makatabang. Okay, next, Sir Luigi.
Pang-apat, himukin ang iba na maging ang kasama mo sa pag-abot ng iyong kapwa. Huwag kaligtaan ang maaring itulong ng iba.
And ang last nato nga paraan dito ng pagpapasalamat ay laging magpasalamat dahil sa bawat oportunidad na makatulong o galiin talagang magpasalamat. Huwag kalimutang magpasalamat sa tao.
Thank
kasi
you, Ma'am
yung iba
Jam.
huwag talagang kaligtaan yan.
Yeah, so alam naman natin na marami pa kayong mga paraan o kilos na isinasagawa upang magpapasalamat sa iyong kapwa. Kaya sa puntong ito, masagot nyo ang mga gawain na makikita sa iyong SLM. Dan mga gawain ito ay basahin lamang ang panuto na nandyan sa iyong SLM.
So that's it for grade 8 ASP. So,
Okay, so more discussions after a short break. This is Astral Academy Cyber School.
And we're back, still here in Astral Academy Cyber School.
So we are now in our grade 9 MAPE.
Okay, so makita dira sa inyohang screen ang atong ikaduhang attendance marker na dira sa ibabaw. Okay, mo na atong ikaduhang attendance marker. Okay, so hello grade 9 learners, get your self-learning materials because this week you're going to analyze art elements and principles in the production of arts following the specific art style from neoclassic and romantic periods and identify distinct characteristics of art during the neoclassic and romantic periods. Okay, we already know how to analyze art elements and principles, Sir Brian and Ma'am Jam, right?
Yes.
Okay, this time we are going to analyze the art elements and principles in neoclassic and romantic periods. But before that, let us know some bits of information about these Western art periods.
Okay, so Neoclassicism and Romanticism were the movements that spread in the Western Europe and the United States during the Rococo era, lasting roughly from the late 18th to the 19th centuries.
Okay, in decorative and visual arts, the Western trend was called neoclassicism. It also refers to literature, theater, music, and architecture which were inspired by ancient Greece and ancient Rome's classical art and culture. This is now known as the Age of Enlightenment. The revived interest in Greek and Roman classics has brought on the art from this time period. Neoclassical works of art such as paintings, sculptures, and architectures typically depicted Roman history that exalted the heroes of Roman times.
So Romanticism was a trend in which neoclassical era artists sought to break new ground with both the delicate and stormy presentation of sentiment. So they also promoted a variety of distinguishing concepts such as historical ambition, supernatural elements, social justice, and nature. So landscaping painting was also made more popular because of the romantic adoration of nature by the inhabitants, and Romanticism was a reaction to the neoclassical pieces, historical, contemplative nature.
Okay, so this time, Ma'am Jam and Sir Brian, let us tell the learners the elements and principles of art in both periods.
Yes.
Okay, when it comes to values, okay, value. First, for neoclassicism, we have order and solemnity. And
Yeah.
for
Romanticism,
romanticism, we have intuition, emotion, and imagination. Okay, how about in inspiration, Sir Brian?
For the inspiration sa Neoclassicism, na siya classical room, patriotism, courage and honor, while the Romanticism, medieval and Baroque eras, Middle and the Far East.
Okay, how about in tone element, Ma'am Jam?
Okay, into a new classicism is calm and rational. In Romanticism, subjective, spontaneous, and nonconformist.
Okay, for the subjects, okay, for neoclassicism, we have Greek and Roman history. Mo dyan ay makita dira. And for romanticism, we have legends, nature, and violence. In the techniques of their artworks, for neoclassicism, stress drawing with lines, not color, no trace, or brushstroke. And for romanticism, we have unrestrained, then rich colors, and visible brush strokes. For the role of art, okay, makita dira, morality, uplifting, and inspirational for neoclassicism. And
Yes.
for romanticism, we have dramatic and carry viewer away. Okay, for the compositions of their artwork, for neoclassicism, we have most figures in foreground. And in romanticism, we have use of diagonal and crowded compositions. And for lines, for neoclassicism, linear styles. Okay, outlines are sharply defined through controlled brush strokes. For romanticism, painterly style or brush strokes are less restrained. And the last one for texture, in neoclassicism, smooth, no brush strokes can be seen. And for romanticism, often has visible brush strokes.
Okay, so for the Neoclassicism and Romanticism are in the sharp contrast. They both exhibit both distinct features that can be seen through the works of art. Now, here are the characteristics of artworks. So we will compare the two.
For neoclassicism, Sir Brian, we have nature is defined as human nature. The society is more important than the individual. Imitation, tradition, rules and order, a mechanical form, logic, a reason, attempted objectivity, town or cultivated landscape, constraint, conformity, cultivated, formal, and social. How about in Sir Brian, romanticism?
So for the Romanticism, more on passion sila no tanan. Na nature is defined as the natural environment. Individual is more important than society. Naagyud po nila ang originality, experimentation, the freedom was seen in romanticism, na po'y organic form na ang intuition, imagination, and emotion because romantic man siya. So, nadi ang emotion. Accepted ang subjectivity. Then country, preferable untouched nature. And then spontaneously, and then independence and rebellion, and lastly, the primitive becomes focus.
Okay, those are the characteristics of artworks from the two Western periods. Okay, so that's it for Arts 9. So this time, let us proceed to ESP 9.
Okay, for our competency for ESP 9, napapatunayan na natutukoy ang mga indikasyon na may kalidad o kagalingan sa paggawa ng isang gawain o produkto kaakibat ang wastong paggamit ng oras para rito at nakabubuo ng mga hakbang upang magkaroon ng kalidad o kagalingan sa paggawa ng isang gawain o produkto kasama na ang pamamahala sa oras na ginugol dito.
Okay, so sa panahon ng pandemya, maraming mamamayang Pilipino ang nakaisip ng iba't ibang gawain at nakagawa ng mga produktong hindi lamang para sa magamit ng kanilang sariling pamilya, kundi para maibenta o maibahagi sa mga maaring makatulong din sa kapwa. Ngunit, masasabi ba nating may kalidad ang mga gawain o produktong ito, Ma'am Jam?
Oh, so marami tayong kakilala no sa panahon ng pandemya na marami silang business, mga online business or yung iba ginagawa nila ngayon is nagplant sila then binibenta. So yan.
Yes.
Pero ang tanong kasi diyan, ano ang indikasyon na may kalidad ang kanilang mga gawain? So yan, matutukoy natin ang mga indikasyon na may kalidad o kagalingan sa paggawa ng isang gawain o produkto, kaakibat ang wastong paggamit ng oras para rito kung tataglayin nila ang sumusunod na katangian. Una, nagsasabuhay ng mga pagpapahalaga. Pangalawa, nagtataglay ng positibong kakayahan at napupuri at nagpapasalamat sa Diyos. So,
Okay.
yun. Ang una, so atin itong isa-isahin. Ang
Yes.
pagsasabuhay ng pagpapahalaga, Sir
So,
Luigi.
Luigi?
Okay, ang mga pagpapahalagang ito ang nagsisilbing gabay niya upang gumawa ng kakaibang produkto o serbisyo na may kalidad. Okay, pangalawa, Sir Brian, ang nagtataglay ng mga kakailanganing kasanayan.
Okay. So, yan ang mga katangian niya. So, ano-ano pa ba ang pagpapahalaga or ano-anong mga pagpapahalaga ang naisa sa buhay mo at kailangan mo pang malinang? Ano-ano mga hakbang ang inyong So, narito ang mga indikasyon na may kalidad ba ang ating paggawa. So, una is ang pagkatuto bago ang paggawa. Kailangan nating planuhin. Ito ang mga yugto, no? So, una, planuhin muna natin para magabayan tayo sa ating mga gawain. Pangalawa,
Ang pagkatuto habang ginagawa. Okay, ito ang mga yugto ng pagkilala sa iba't ibang estratehiyang maaring gamitin upang mapadali ang pagsasakatuparan ng mga tunguhin sa pamamagitan ng pagtatala ng mga konkretong hakbang upang maisagawa ang proyektong napili at mga posibleng kaharaping problema at solusyon ng mga ito.
so maghimo sa ta dire og kuan after sa paghimo og plan, magkuan tag mga strategies.
Ang mga strategies.
Next, pagkatuto, pagkatapos gawin ang isang gawain. So, diri po sa puntong ito, malalaman mo ang mga kilos at pasya na dapat manatili or baguhin. So, kani diri nga area, o kani nga part no, kailangan katong mga strategy nga imong buhaton, nabuhat, pwede pa babalikon or dili.
So, yan ang mga hakbang na ating gagawin upang makilala natin na may kalidad ba ang ating mga ginagawa or ating produkto. In that way, hindi masasayang ang oras natin.
Yes.
At makakabuo ng mga hakbang upang magkaroon ng kalidad o kagalingan sa paggawa ng isang gawain o produkto kasama na ang pamamahala natin sa oras na ginugol dito.
Correct, Ma'am
So,
Jam.
dahil ang pamamahala sa oras ay tumutukoy sa kakayahan mo sa epektibong paggawa nito sa paggawa. Sa pamamagitan nito, tataas ang produktibidad or pagkamabisa sa kagalingan mo sa paggawa at makapaglalaan ka pa ng oras sa pamamahinga, paglilibang at pagkakawang gawa.
Okay, so balikan natin ang pangatlong indikasyon na may kalidad o kagalingan sa paggawa. Ang pangatlo ay nagpupuri at nagpapasalamat sa Diyos.
Okay.
So, kasi sa sitwasyong ito, pinakamahalaga ito kasi indikasyon ito na may kalidad, no? So, since given tayo na binibigyan tayo ng talento ng Panginoon, so in that way, i-give back po na to na siya, no? So, kailangan tanga magpasalamat in that way. So, dahil masabi na ang paggawa ay kakaiba, may kalidad at kagalingan, ay kung ito ay naaayon sa kalooban ng Diyos. Yan ang pangatlong indikasyon na may kalidad ang ating ginagawa at ang ating mga produkto. So ngayon, alam kong tukoy ni na ang indikasyon na may kalidad o kagalingan sa paggawa ng isang gawain o produkto, kaakibat ang wastong paggamit ng oras para rito. So, stay tuned, learners. So, more discussion after a short break.
This is Astral Academy Cyber School.
And we're back, still here in Astral Academy Cyber School. Okay, so manaato ang Arts 9 and ASP 9. Now, this time we will proceed to Arts 10. Our learning competencies are identify the art elements in the various media-based arts in the Philippines and identify representative artists as well as the distinct characteristic of media-based arts and design in the Philippines.
So now, Sir Brian, what are the various media-based arts in the Philippines?
Okay, so Ma'am Jam, some of the examples of media-based arts and designs in the Philippines are photography, film, animation, print media, production innovation, and industrial design.
So what are the elements in photography, Sir Louis?
Okay, the basic elements of photography are light, color, composition, and direction and subject. For light, the position and quality of light can affect any number of things in your final photo, from clarity to tone to emotion and so much. Okay, for color, in another predominant entity that sets the mood of a photograph. Okay, for composition and direction, framing or using light and color to our advantage is done predominantly through composition and direction, or the photography is about finding the most beautiful rectangular area in endless chaos. Okay, for subject, it is obvious to get inclined to get as much data on the subject as possible. Textural detail will gradually the attention of anyone will get the attention of everyone.
Now, let's try to identify the art elements in the various media-based arts in the Philippines. So, na-example diya nga picture. Okay, now this time, can you identify the art elements present on this picture? Ma'am Jam, naabay, so makita ni mo dirha.
Okay, so makita natos diha sa picture, there is a light, which is the position and quality of light affect the subject, which is the ball, which make it more realistic and good.
Okay, how about the color? Naabay color, Sir Luigi, nga makita ni mo ana nga picture.
Sir Brian.
Correct.
Okay, the color composition in that photography or in that composition is that the subject makes interesting and vibrant.
Okay, is there a subject? Unsa may subject ani nga picture?
Okay, ang subject jud dira is ang ball. Okay, it is more emphasized and make it better because of the position and its background.
Okay, now this time we will proceed to the second competency. Okay, so we will identify some representative artists as well as a distinct characteristic of media-based arts and design in the Philippines. Now here are the different artists. First, si George Tapan. He is an award-winning travel photographer who was won 2 Pacific Asia Tourism Association Gold Awards and Asian Tourism Association Award and first place in 2011 National Geographic Photo Contest. His highly acclaimed work has been published in the 5 travel photography books. Okay, unsa man ang iya mga characteristic, Sir Luigi?
He was in advertising, sports, and fashion until travel photography.
Yes, so diha ang iyang characteristics sa
Of our next photographer, we have Janky Chua, the best known as advertising and commercial photographer with over 40 years of experience in this field and numerous local and international awards for his work. At the same time, he has applied his photo artistry to showcasing the beauty of the Philippines.
Yes, so mao to sila ang mga different artists sa Philippines.
Okay, so this time, Sir Brian, let's talk about ESP 10.
So, our competency for ASP 10, natutukoy ang mga paglabag sa paggalang sa buhay at nasusuri ang mga paglabag sa paggalang sa buhay. So, narito ang mga karaniwang isyu tungkol sa paglabag ng paggalang sa buhay. So, matutukoy natin sa mga isyong ito ang mga paglabag sa paggalang sa buhay. So, una, ang paggamit ng ipinagbabawal na gamot. So, makikita ba natin na may paglabag ito sa buhay?
Yes, Ma'am Jam. May issue talaga dyan.
Yes, dahil sa issue, yan ang issue natin, no? Ang paggamit ng pinagbabawal na gamot. So, nalalabag nila ang paggalang sa buhay dahil sa droga, ang isip ng tao ay nagiging blank spot o kaya nahihirapan ang isip ng tao na iproseso ang bawat ibang impormasyon na dumadaloy nito sa karaniwang sanhi na maling pagpapasya at pagkilos. Kaya, nalalabag ang paggalang sa buhay dahil maaari itong maghatid sa tao ng maling landas at posibleng pagkamatay.
Okay,
Yes.
pangalawa, Ma'am Jam at Sir Brian, ang alkoholismo. Okay, nalalabag natin ang paggalang sa buhay dahil ito rin ay pinagmula ng maraming sakit na maaaring magresulta ng pagkamatay.
Yes, ang pangatlong issue, abortion, Sir Luigi. So, nalalabag natin ang paggalang sa buhay dahil ito ay nagpapalaga sa isang buhay na nasa sinapupunan pa lamang ng ina o kaya ang hindi pa napapanahon na paglabas nito. So, ang pagpigil at pakikialam sa ganitong uri ng proseso ay hindi makatarungan paghimasok sa karapatan ng isang bata na mabuhay.
At ang isa pang paglabag sa buhay ay ang posible ang pagpapatiwakal. Dahil sa pagpapatiwakal, ang pagkitil sa sariling buhay o pagpapakamatay ay isang kasalanan sa Diyos. O kaya siya lamang ang tanging nagmamay-ari ng buhay at ang kamatayan.
Okay, at panglima, is ang euthanasia. Ito ay ang paggamit ng modernong medisina at kagamitan upang tapusin ang paghihirap ng isang may sakit. Tinatawag din itong mercy killing or painless death, ang pagpapadali ng pagputol ng buhay ng isang uri din ng pagpapatiwakal.
Okay, kaya ngayon, tukoy nila ang posibleng paglabag sa buhay. So sa pangalawang competency, magbigay tayo natin, dahil sa pangalawang competency, kailangan nating suriin ang mga paglabag sa buhay. So magbigay tayo ng sitwasyon at atin itong suriin kung ito ba ay may paglabag sa buhay. So narito ang sitwasyon. Nahirapan si Eduardo. Nalaman niya sa doktor na malala na ang sakit niya sa bituka. So matagal na siyang sinasabihang huminto sa kanyang bisyo. Subalit, nakasanayan na niya ito lalo na kapag kasama ang mga kaibigan at mayroong okasyon. Hanggang naging bahagi na ito ng kanyang buhay. Ngayon, sisingilin siya ng kanyang bisyo. So, alin sa mga ito ang kanyang bisyo or nalalabag kaya niya ito?
Yes, Sir Luigi, alin ba dyan?
So,
pagpupuyat, paglalasing, paninigirilyo, or pagdodroga?
Okay. Ang tamang sagot dyan, Sir Brian, ay paglalasing.
Okay. So, makikita natin dyan na nalalabag niya dahil sa paglalasing niya, inaabusahan niya ang kanyang katawan. Kaya ang kanyang buhay medyo posibleng may hangganan din.
Mas na short ang iyang lifespan mas
life.
nangkuan man iyang mga sakit na trigger ang iyang kuan. So, ngayon nabatid mo na ang kahalagahan ng buhay at ang mga isyu sa paglabag nito. So, kanano naagi mga isyu sa ato ang life, Sir Luigi?
Okay. So, tandaan na ang buhay ay pinagkaloob sa atin ng Diyos upang gamitin natin sa mabuting paraan. Ito ay banal. Itinuturing na maling gawain ang hindi paggalang sa kabanalan ng buhay dahil ito ay indikasyon ng kawalan ng pasasalamat at pagkilala sa kapangyarihan ng Diyos.
Okay.
So, for our third attendance marker,
okay, so makita dira sa inyo ang screen. Okay, this time, Sir Brian is magpasalamat na ta. Okay, first is to our executive producer headed by Sir Gasepi, our production team, and of course, to our learners. This has been Luigi Talaran from Silangit National High School.
This has been Brian Cahigas of Sumirap National High School.
Jamaica Pundara from Kanyangan National High School.
This is Astral Academy Cyber School.